we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
And good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Tyler Fingert. I'm so glad you're here. We have a busy afternoon of news to tell you about. Remember, this is an interactive news conversation, so join us in the comments on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you have a question, if you have something you want to talk about, just let us know and we'll try to get it answered for you. Let's get straight to that news we're following out of Mableton right now. Let's look at live pictures that are coming into the newsroom. Within the last half an hour, a man was taken into custody after allegedly setting a fire inside of a Mableton home, leading to an hours-long barricade situation. You can see the camera just kind of panning around there. You just saw the fire truck. Emergency crews rushed to the home in the area of Wandering Vine Drive, which is near Wandering Vine Lane, after a fire broke out, which explains why the fire department is now on scene. First responders quickly put out that active fire. A man then barricaded himself inside the house for hours as SWAT team members and uniformed patrol officers surrounded the property. The standoff ended when the suspect walked outside and officers took him into custody. We can report no injuries have been reported, and police confirm the scene is contained with no ongoing threat to people in that neighborhood. We still are waiting to find out who this man is that was taken into custody, and officials have not said what led up to the incident or if anyone else was inside of that home when this incident was called out. You're now looking at some video from the scene. You see Cobb County police there. You see some residents off in the distance. Obviously, a very active situation for a lot of folks over the last several hours in that Mableton neighborhood. We're working to get more information. As soon as we get it, we'll, of course, bring it to you right here during Fox 5 News Live this afternoon. Let's talk about another story, this one out of Gwinnett County, where officers are investigating after a man says he returned to his Tucker townhome to find his visitor dead from a gunshot wound. The shooting happened in broad daylight on Lawrenceville Highway, and police say the victim was visiting the homeowner, and the homeowner knew who he was and was on his way home. When the homeowner got home, he saw the victim lying on the ground. Police are asking anyone who live in the area to contact detectives about anything unusual. They're obviously trying to figure out what exactly happened in this case. And I want to get you caught up on an active situation we were telling you about yesterday, and that was the officer-involved shooting in the city of Atlanta. We just got the mugshot of the suspect who was arrested. You're looking at it right now on your screen. He is the man accused of shooting an Atlanta police officer during a mental health crisis. The GBI identifies 24-year-old Michael Gates as the man who opened fire on officers. Police were called to the home on Clark Howard Lane Southwest around 8:40 for a report of a person experiencing a mental health crisis who was armed. The GBI says Gates fired at officers, hitting 30-year-old officer Devontae Matthews in the arm. Officers returned fire, also injuring a woman inside the home. Matthews was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. Police say they had responded to the home multiple times for mental health-related calls. That's the officer who was wounded yesterday during this incident. And Gates was taken into custody and is facing charges related to the shooting. As you can tell, a very busy afternoon of news here at Fox 5. Let's get a check of the other stories that we're working on with Fox 5 assignment manager Tanya Mendoza. Tanya.
Hi, Tyler. It's been a busy morning. Actually, it's been a busy 2 days for us here on the assignment desk and in the newsroom. Let's go ahead and start out with what our helicopter was over not too long ago. We actually sent Angelique Proctor over to Eagleswood Academy. She checked out this situation along with some of our photographers. Basically, fire and medical units responded to an incident there where now the school system in DeKalb is saying what happened was an altercation between students that led to someone using pepper spray. That pepper spray set off an allergic reaction for the school resource officer, and an EpiPen had to be used. We'll keep you updated with more on that story. That's what was happening. It was a little scary when it first came out because we didn't know what was going on, and we knew that emergency personnel were responding there. But that's it, and we'll have more on that later. Tyler.
Yeah, certainly a story to follow up on, and we'll be watching that one throughout the afternoon. I want to take people to the story that grabbed a lot of people's attention yesterday, and that was because that Amber Alert was issued, sent to everyone's phones throughout the Georgia area, especially North Georgia. I know I got the alert. 2 girls were kidnapped, and now we're learning some new details, and I think we just got some new video of the moment they found the girls.
That's what I'm playing right behind me here. So I know you guys have the video there. If you can roll to it, because this is a really wild video that we got just now from APD not long ago. Basically, the 2 girls were missing. We had the story yesterday. They were kidnapped after they were taken by a babysitter by the name of Lakeisha Brown. She waived her court appearance, by the way, this morning, and she did have a pending case in Alabama, and new documents have been filed in that case. Prosecutors in Alabama are seeking to revoke Brown's bond from a 2021 kidnapping case. Now back to this video. This video just was released by the police department, and it shows the officers actually rescuing the girls from a trailer. So as you recall, yesterday they were talking about being in the area and hearing a child crying or screaming. I don't know if you remember that, but in my head I was like, where was this? You know, how did they get them? So now we are getting the answers to those questions. They were in this trailer, and that's the video. We'll have all of that on our website. We have Ray Yedena working on that story today, and he'll have much more details on this story. Tyler.
My big question here, when I heard trailer, I assumed it was an RV of some sort. This is like a trailer you tow behind your car. My big question, it was super hot yesterday. We were in the upper 90s. They found these kids somewhere around the noon hour. It was incredibly hot. You can obviously see Lakeisha Brown was also inside of that trailer. I mean, I want to know if it was air conditioned.
Exactly. And you remember when we had the helicopter over it, we were like, are the kids okay? Because we did see medical personnel treating the kids and putting them in an ambulance. So that is why. And obviously, this is the big story of the day. We're going to have much more on this a little later with Ray Yedena.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, it's nice to have the body camera video to be able to see this. The fact that APD released it so quickly, I mean, you can see it was taken at 12:28, so just about 24 hours after this, they finally released it for the public to be able to see the work that they were able to do to reunite these 2 kids with their mother.
Right. And Tyler, this is why it's so important for those Amber Alerts to go out. I know there were some questions, I don't know if they were answered yesterday, but about the timing of Amber Alerts and how quick they get out to the public.
Yeah.
So hopefully Ray gets some answers on that as well, and we will have more on that. But this amazing video right now that we're replaying is on our website. If anybody wants to go on and look at it right now, they can do that right now.
Yeah, thankfully, the good news here, the kids are okay. They've been reunited with their mom. Obviously a very scary ordeal for that family. Let's with something we'll be obviously monitoring and continue to follow up on. Ray Yedena will have the updates throughout the afternoon. Let's take people to Sonoy now, where a man is accused of a sexual assault. What do we know about this case?
Okay, yeah, so I have my little cheat sheet here, but this is what Doug Evans is working on, and this comes from the Sonoy Police Department, and it occurred on Sunday. They have put out a press release about this, so they're asking citizens there, if anybody has information about this, to let them know, call the police department. But basically, it sounds like a resident was walking. She wanted to exercise in the area when she was grabbed from behind by a male subject who attempted to commit a sexual assault. Thankfully, this incredibly resilient person, this is their words in their press release, was able to fight free from the attacker, who then fled the scene. They are asking the public's help. They've said anybody who has information can directly contact a detective by the name of Lieutenant James McHugh. They have his phone number listed and an email. We'll post that on our website a little later. But basically, if you were in the area of downtown near the post office in Sonoy, or the R&R, or Gin Street properties, or the railroad tracks there, please, and saw anything suspicious Sunday night, I think it was after 10, please give them a call. Doug will have much more on this story. Really scary situation. people going out jogging, walking. Sometimes we get really, confident and feel secure in neighborhoods, especially if it's around your own home or your own town. So this woman allegedly encountered this attack, and they are putting the word out to let everybody know about it and hopefully apprehend the suspect. Tyler.
Yeah, Tanya, thanks so much. I appreciate the update on all the stories we're working on. And I want to mention one thing. We're getting some questions on our Facebook, or our TikTok chat rather, asking if that babysitter was related to the kids in any way. No, it was a babysitter who had gained the trust of the mother to be able to babysit them for an overnight period. She never returned with the kids, and I guess was giving different excuses for why she wasn't returning. I guess maybe a car accident. Ultimately, though, they found her by tracking her down, I guess using good police work to be able to make the break in this case. And I just wanted to make sure people were aware they're not related, and the person, I guess, had built up that trust with the family to be able to make this happen. Tony Mendoza, thanks so much for an update on the stories you're working on today. Really appreciate it. Let's take a live look outside now over Atlanta. I think the nice solace in all of this is it is a lot cooler than it was yesterday, I guess technically, because we were in the upper 90s. Right now, are we even in the 90s yet, Alex?
Well, I can't give away the punchline here.
We're cooler. This is a great news for me because I stepped outside yesterday and I instantly felt like I had jumped into a pool.
Right.
Today, it took a little bit longer to feel like I jumped into the pool.
So here's my measures. I walked outside, my sunglasses still fogged up. So yes, you're right, it's cooler, but it's not cool outside, right? Like it's still hot.
But it's better than it could be.
Right. Yes.
And better than it was yesterday. We have, you guys have been talking about how we're going to hit that peak really on Monday, and it's going to kind of go down a little bit, and we have hit the dip at least.
Yes,
from what we saw
started
yesterday.
The dip. Yes. So let's get to it because, I think that is kind of the notion across the metro area is that it's not as bad as it could be. 88 is where we stand right now. So no, we're not at 90. However, I am expecting to get into the 90s today across the metro area. 75 is still our dew point. That is what matters. So it is still extremely sticky out there. Anytime you're over 68, you're sticky. Anytime you're over 72, you're really sticky. Well, we're at 75 right now. 90 in Covington, 91 in Eatonton, 91 in Athens, 90 in Thomaston and in LaGrange, 85 in Dalton, and 82 over in Blairsville. So this is what Tyler's talking about. We're 6 degrees cooler in Atlanta right now, 4 degrees cooler in Eatonton and in Athens, 3 degrees cooler in Gainesville, and 7 degrees cooler over in Dalton at this hour. But still, even then, right, your reds and your pinks, and even your oranges on the map, that is your humid air across the metro area, and that is what we have. So while it is in the 80s, Tyler, it feels like 99 in Atlanta right now. 102 in Covington, 106 in Eatonton, 100 in Athens, 99 in LaGrange, and it feels like 99 in Thomaston. So for the remainder of the day today, expecting partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, temperatures getting into the 90s. So while we're not there now, we will be shortly, and that's going to take us into tomorrow. Speaking of taking us into tomorrow, nothing to track on Fox 5 Live Viper. 9, 10, 11, 12, it just keeps on going, and we're not going to be looking at any shower activity. So 94 for today, 95 for Wednesday, could hit 98 there on Thursday. That might be a little too warm, but nonetheless, we will be above the norm into next week and into the back half of the month. Rain chances remain relatively low at 30% there for Friday. So that's kind of the day over the next 7 that has the best chance of rain, even though it's not a sky-high chance by any stretch of the imagination.
Alex, thanks so much for the update. And obviously with the extreme heat, cooling centers have opened. Our Maria Guzman has been out at one all day and gives us the update.
We're in Gresham Park in DeKalb County inside Frontline Response. On the day today, they do operate as an emergency shelter in the county, but on days like today that it's extremely warm, they also become a cooling center.
So you actually have 2 things happening here at Frontline Response. The first thing is that we're DeKalb's only emergency shelter. So we have a capacity of about 400 people, so we can have anywhere between 200 to 350 people at a particular time. So during the day, since we have kids and families, you got to get kids up and get them out to school, and we serve breakfast in the morning. But then that's also the time that our fast track vans go out and start picking up people that need transportation to get into the cooling centers for the day. And so we have about 4 routes that we run around DeKalb County, and they don't all just come back here. We partner with the South DeKalb Day Center at New Life. We get people over there during the daytime. They have case management services. We have case management services here. And so we try to make sure that people have all the options that they can, particularly if they're unhoused, so then they can eventually get referred to our shelter. So our cooling center activation actually happens from DeKalb Emergency Management, DEMA. They monitor the weather every day, all day, and when the temperatures get to what they consider to be extreme heat, they usually will give us a day or so notice or more to make sure that we can go ahead and open up the 3 or 4 cooling centers that we have. So here, given our shelter people that are also working at the cooling center, the whole system sees about 300 people per day going through, and some of those we pick up, some of those are shelter residents, and some of those they make their way here through MARTA. And so however they get here, we will make sure that they have good lunch, services, and then sometimes people will stay for dinner. So given the number of people that we serve and unhoused, what we're seeing is that a predominant number of those people are unhoused individuals. They may have been able to stay out in the normal type of weather, but when the heat gets extreme, it gets pretty dangerous to be able to be out in that type of weather. So we have them come in during the day from 9 to 5 o'clock. But what we're actually starting to see is an increasing number of people who can't afford electricity, so they have a place to go, but there's no power, so that means there's no air conditioning. And so they will call us and request a ride to come into the cooling center during the day until it cools down in their apartment or house so they can go back at nighttime. Well, they can go check our website. They can also give a call at 404-334-3610. That's our group transportation. If people see people that need help, they can let us know, and we'll try to get one of our fast track routes there. Law enforcement also can help us. So if someone is in danger, they can get a law enforcement officer, and they have a hotline that they can call us to make sure that we can get there and get them picked up and get them into a safe place.
And Frontline Response is going to continue to operate as a cooling center until tomorrow. In DeKalb County, Maria Guzman, Fox 5 News.
Maria, thanks so much for the update. Now I want to talk about a story that is trending right now, and that is the trial of Lindsay Clancy. She is the Massachusetts mother accused of killing her 3 children back in 2023. The prosecution wrapped up its case yesterday. Now the defense is trying to present its case, and they're not denying that she actually killed her children, but they argue that she is not criminally responsible because she was experiencing what I guess is called postpartum psychosis when it happened. And Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from Plymouth, Massachusetts. She's covering the trial for us. Kaylee, get us up to speed.
Hey there, Tyler. So Lindsay Clancy's former mother-in-law, Susan, testified that Lindsay was begging for help in the months leading up to the murder. And we heard a similar story yesterday when the defense kicked off their case calling Lindsay Clancy's mom to the stand. She says Lindsay was a loving and fun mom, but she also says her daughter was paranoid and was sometimes afraid to sleep alone. And she read one of her texts in court from around that time.
She reached out to me in November and told me that she felt unwell.
Did she describe any symptoms for you?
She did.
Tell the jurors what she said.
She felt, mostly she had insomnia. She was losing her appetite. She was very anxious and sad.
Clancy's defense says the mental health system failed her and made her symptoms worse, prescribing her 13 different medications over the course of 1 year. But prosecutors say she methodically planned the murders of her 3 children. Clancy's mom testified about visiting Lindsay a few times a month and said Lindsay told her she had thoughts of hurting the children. Prosecutors said they wanted to know why nobody took action if Lindsay, in fact, was struggling so much.
Did you have any thoughts about committing her?
No.
Did you have any thoughts about having her come stay with you in Connecticut away from the children?
No.
Were you concerned for the children's safety at that point in time?
No, because I was there.
If convicted of murder, Clancy faces life in prison without parole, but if she's found not guilty by reason of insanity, she'll be admitted to a state mental health facility. Tyler?
Yeah, Kaylee, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out inside of the courtroom. Thank you so much for the update today. I know you'll be talking with us and keeping us up to date throughout the week here on Fox 5. Appreciate the update. And as you come back into the newsroom, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're going to be talking about the tragic death of Hayden Panettiere. We're going to get you up to speed on that, and that is a story a lot of people are talking about, so you're going to want to stick with us. We're back in 2 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Tuesday afternoon. The time now is 1:22. I'm Tyler Fingert. So glad you're here. I want to talk about a story that is trending right now across the country, but also right here in Georgia, and that is the tragic death of actress Hayden Panettiere, and we're learning some new details. TMZ reports her on-again, off-again boyfriend Brian Hickerson and his brother were actually at the South Carolina home when she died on Sunday, and police say there are no signs of foul play. An official cause of death, though, is still pending. So entertainment contributor Brenda Alexander joins us now with the latest. Brenda, I'm so glad you're here this afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to speak with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a tragic story, but a lot of people knew Hayden Panettiere. She was obviously an accomplished child star, but also grew up in her own right, and obviously on Nashville and Heroes, so a lot of people knew her from there. What's the latest about what we know?
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is because we're still so early on in the investigation, a lot still has yet to be determined in regards to her cause of death and what led up to her death. But there have been a lot of new developments that have been released today. So WSPA Channel 7 News out of Greenville, South Carolina, actually initially released additional details. As you mentioned, TMZ also reported on it. So an officer by the name of Matthew Bryan noted that upon arriving to the scene, multiple EMS personnel and firefighters were actually actively performing CPR on the actress. He described her as unresponsive, but did not see any physical reasons why she would be unresponsive. He didn't notice any bruising or anything like that on her body that seemed, out of suspicious or anything like that. Now, EMS performed extreme life-saving measures for a little over 40 minutes, and she was pronounced dead at 2:31 p.m. As you mentioned, the brothers were there. So Brian has been her on-again, off-again boyfriend since about 2018, and his brother Zach was also present. They were present and noted down to be witnesses. Brian is also listed as the person who filed the complaint or called in for the ordeal. The officer noted that Zach was emotional the entire time that EMS worked on on Hayden, and that Brian did not actually become emotional until he was told that she was deceased. Now, the brothers were escorted out of the apartment and sat in the hallway after Hayden was pronounced dead on the scene, and they were questioned. The police do have body camera footage, and they said that it remained on throughout their entire line of questioning. And there's also video surveillance of the brothers and the actress kind of coming and going out of the apartment in the day leading up, in the hours and minutes leading up to whatever happened. There was also a bag of prescription medications, I believe, that Brian showed the officers of what Hayden was taking at the time when she was there at the apartment. And all of that information, however, has been redacted. But as I mentioned, a lot of new developments have been coming out, throughout the day even. So I'm sure we're going to continue to hear more about this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, unfortunately, I keep hearing is that the overdose keeps coming out. And obviously, if she had prescription medications, we don't know what those drugs were, obviously, because they were redacted by investigators before they released that report. But that is a question that continuously is coming up since Sunday.
Yeah. Yes, and TMZ also did reveal that Narcan was actually reportedly found at the scene. Okay. Narcan is typically used to treat overdoses, but obviously that did not, unfortunately, work in this situation. People are still sending in tributes. One of her co-stars, actually, Solange Knowles, who we know as the, little and talented sister of Beyonce Knowles, worked alongside Hayden in one of my favorite movies, Bring It On, All or Nothing. And she released a beautiful emotional tribute to her Instagram stories, just talking about the time that they spent together. They were both, young budding actresses at the time, trying to find their own way. They talked about becoming mothers and motherhood. And she said that Hayden was always so open about her struggles and her vulnerability. And that's what she wants her to be remembered for the most. And that she considered it an act of bravery for her to be as open as she has. As we know, she released a memoir in just May of this year, actually. So her memoir was just released. So I know a lot of people who haven't read it or haven't taken the time to actually delve into her story will definitely do that now to see, what kind of was going on with her in the past, I guess you could say, decade. She's been very open about how motherhood sent her into a level of struggle that she wasn't expecting, and how that really took a toll on her mental health and different addictions that she had to overcome and relationship issues. So we'll definitely be watching.
And obviously the loss of her brother. The fact that just a few years ago they lost Jansen, now the family's having to deal with losing Hayden. I mean, just absolutely shocking. Both of them so young.
Mm-hmm. Completely shocking and heartbreaking. He passed away from an unknown heart condition, I believe. He was only 28 years. Yeah, he was only 28 years old at the time. So I'm sure this is an unimaginable loss for her parents. They've lost, both of their children.
And we're also hearing from people who who worked with her recently, saying that she may have been struggling. Do we know anything about that and how that? What we're hearing about that?
Yeah, so one of her hairstylists who worked with her on Nashville actually spoke with Page 6, I believe it was yesterday evening, and spoke about the fact that Hayden was suffering from some debilitating health issues earlier this year, specifically involving her back. There were some photographs that surfaced online about, in the springtime, I want to say like March or April, it might have been a little later than that. She was actually with Brian, the boyfriend, the on-again, off-again boyfriend, in Los Angeles, and she was photographed wearing crutches. They also spoke about her being on anxiety medication and dealing with high levels of anxiety, and that sometimes the pain was so debilitating in her back that it caused her trouble with walking, and she would, kind of lose her balance there. Another co-star spoke out and spoke with People magazine and said that when he worked with her not too long ago, that she was very open about a lot of the struggles related to postpartum depression and not being able to be, not physically, but emotionally present in the nurturing mother initially that she thought that she was going to be able to be to her 11-year-old daughter. I believe her daughter's name is Kaya, and how that really sent her into an emotional spiral because she felt so much shame around not being able to be the mother initially that she wanted to be. As we've spoken about previously, she relinquished custody of her daughter to her daughter's father in 2018 when her daughter was barely 3 years old, I believe. And the daughter has been living in Ukraine primarily with her father. But she did go back and forth to see her daughter and spoke openly about building a different type of relationship with her and building that level of trust and mother-daughter bond. And she was very happy about where they were, leading up to her death. She always spoke positively about her daughter's father as well.
Brenda Alexander, I really appreciate you joining us here to break down what we know and the new information that is obviously coming in minute by minute about this tragic death of Hayden Panettiere. A lot of people knew her, whether it was as a child star or what she turned into as she grew older with Nashville and Heroes. Brenda, I really appreciate your time this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, and I'll keep you guys updated as best as I can.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks so much. And I just want to quickly mention that the Greenville County Coroner's Office says toxicology reports will take roughly 2 months, and we'll obviously keep you up to date as we learn more. Well, the time now is 1:29 on this Tuesday afternoon. We're going to take a quick break. We're back in 2 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live. The time now 1:32 on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Tyler Finger, and I'm so glad you're here. We have some national stories we want to tell you about, and this next one is absolutely wild. Talk about ruining your life even while you're in college still and haven't really got to experience it. Listen to this story. More than a dozen Penn State fraternity brothers were busted for running a complex cocaine trafficking ring. Prosecutors say the operation ran out of 2 separate fraternities that forced young pledges to cut and bag the drugs, then sold to students. 14 people face charges in connection to the multi-state trafficking scheme.
Between 2023 and 2024, large amounts of cocaine, kilos, were brought from Philadelphia and New York to State College, where they were cut and packaged for sale primarily to Penn State students. The 2 main dealers, the top of the chain, if you will, were senior members of the Delta, Upsilon, and Sigma Chi fraternities.
Yeah, not to make light of the situation, but I don't think this is what the business school had in mind when they talked about entrepreneurship. 4 of the people charged are current Penn State students. I want to talk about a different story, and this one is one that probably certainly affects a lot of people if you have a Facebook account. Meta has now on trial. So the opening statements began today in a landmark federal case that accuses Meta, the owners of Facebook, of deliberately making Facebook and Instagram addictive to children. The suit brought by a group of state attorney generals accuses the company of designing features that prolong kids' time on the platforms. They're seeking changes to the algorithm, and get this, $1.4 trillion in penalties. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.4 trillion in penalties. We'll keep you updated on that court case. As we come back into the newsroom, I want to talk about a different trial that is happening right now. Let's take a live look inside of the Las Vegas courtroom where the trial is happening for the man accused of orchestrating the murder of Tupac Shakur. So there is someone on the stand. You can see the suspect right there off just behind that first monitor on the right. Let's listen into the testimony.
My experience, yes, that's a typical of fight night that you would have.
Right. So nowadays it's UFC or, some type of championship thing with somebody, I don't know. But once again, championship level sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Not an everyday.
Not an everyday thing.
All right. And obviously there's a ton of people that are there. We see at some point the group that attacked the individual run.
Yes,
and they run out of the area. And I want to make sure the jury understands. So going back here to State's Exhibit number 144, the area where the attack happens is right here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And this is right next to it. It just says elevator core, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, we talked a little bit about where they exited, and you had mentioned somewhere, but I just want to make sure I'm clear as to where that would have been. Can you tell the jury where they exited?
From what I observed,
Sir, just to let you know, you could actually take that mouse that's right there and just move it around.
When he's on the dock cam.
They changed
it. Point it out.
Usually they can, but.
All right. Just go ahead and just describe it, and I'll just point it out.
He appears to have traveled initially after the altercation. He appears to travel north up into the casino area, around that area, and then
So we have been listening to just a portion of the testimony that is ongoing right now in that Las Vegas courtroom for the man accused of orchestrating the murder of Tupac Shakur. This is day 2 of testimony. The trial got underway yesterday after they picked a jury last week. We'll obviously be monitoring this one. It's expected to last several weeks as this trial will be continuing, getting a lot of attention online as folks are really curious to see how all of this plays out nearly roughly 3 decades after Tupac Shakur was killed in Las Vegas. As we come back into the newsroom now, we have a busy afternoon of news, as you can tell here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. I want to check in with our Jamison Moyer now on some of the stories that are trending and a lot of people are clicking on. Jamison, good afternoon. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Tyler. Good to see you.
So let's start with the first story. We are talking about a drug arrest in Midtown Atlanta at a hotel. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so police received an anonymous tip after a man was refusing to check out of a hotel room in Midtown Atlanta, and they found 33-year-old Jacob Taylor, who was arrested on August 9th at the Hilton Garden Inn on 10th Street. Officers went to knock on his door, and Taylor allegedly handed them a fake driver's license with a false name, but police were able to quickly confirm Taylor's real identity and learned he had active Fulton County arrest warrants. So then they went and searched his hotel room that he was staying in and found a loaded revolver and a designer bag packed with drugs, including purple heroin, crack, meth, and nearly 200 grams of Adderall and Xanax. He now faces a very long list of charges that include forgery, illegal firearm possession, and possession with intent to distribute. Police have not yet released what sparked the initial warrant, however. Tyler?
Yeah, certainly interesting to see how all of that played out. It would be interesting to find out who actually called police to let them know, but we'll obviously be monitoring that one and keep people up to date. Let's talk about this next story. Smothered, covered, and now I guess tacos are available at Waffle Houses.
Yes, Waffle House is testing out that brand new menu item at Metro Atlanta locations. They are trying out seven different taco varieties at 45 local spots for a limited time. They've got 4 breakfast options that are packed with scrambled eggs, cheese, and your choice of bacon, sausage, ham, or chicken sausage. And then they have 3 lunch and dinner favorites that are rolled into a tortilla that include the patty melt, chicken melt, and cheesesteak tacos. Each of these is loaded with grilled onions and melted cheese, and given the fact that it's Waffle House, you can order any of these options all 24 hours a day. The company says that this new rollout is just a trial run, but early feedback has been super positive. There's no word yet on whether tacos will become a permanent fixture nationwide, so Atlanta taste testers will have the final say. But you can see the full list of restaurants on our website at fox5atlanta.com that are offering the new taco menu option.
I do have to ask, obviously tortilla, do we know if it's flour or corn? For me, that matters.
I am unsure. It looks like it's flour.
That's what I think.
Joyce, yeah.
It looks
Joyce, do you know
flour.
if it was flour or corn?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. It looks flour to me.
It looks like flour. I don't see it in our web store. I would love to find out, but I assume it's flour, not corn. I prefer corn, but I would definitely give it a try. But while we stay on the topic of Waffle House, I assume we're talking about the employee who was fired, then the GoFundMe?
Yeah, so this is an interesting story. This local rapper, he put a love letter of a song out to the place where he worked, Waffle House, and it ended up costing him his job. The artist is known as Rockstar Riley, and he said he was fired from a Sandy Springs location on Friday after his song and music video about the chain blew up online. The video was filmed inside a Waffle House kitchen, and it garnered thousands of views, but company management was not happy about it. Sources told TMZ that corporate asked Riley to delete social media posts showing him in the uniform, but he refused and kept creating the videos. Ironically, after he was fired, Riley said that Waffle House was his first job and he'd love to star in an official commercial. Waffle House has yet to comment on his firing, but there has been a GoFundMe started for Riley after he was fired that has already raised over $1,500. And I do believe that we have been working to see if we can get an interview with Riley ourselves to talk more about just the situation and what happened and transpired.
Yeah, actually, I did reach out to GoFundMe. They actually provided his phone number. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk with him. I will mention, I actually did reach out to Waffle House yesterday because obviously I was curious if they had a statement. No response yet. Reached out to them at like 4 o'clock yesterday. It's 1:40 right now, so they've had ample time to get back to us. So hopefully they respond. It would be nice to hear from them directly about the firing and why they chose to do this. But so far, we haven't heard back.
Seems like good publicity for them, too, so it is interesting. I would like to hear what they have to say as well.
Certainly. Jamison Moyer, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon and telling us all the stories that are trending. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as we come back into the newsroom on this Tuesday afternoon, we know Labor Day weekend is going to be a busy one throughout our area. People are probably going to want to spend some time outdoors, especially if the weather is nice. Well, we know Bluegrass is back here in West Georgia. Chris Rosenthal is live at the Outpost Bluegrass Barn with a look at the festival, keeping the music and the historic venue alive. Chris?
Yeah, hey Tyler. Yeah, I am at the Outpost barn here and the Bluegrass barn here in Waco, Georgia. It may not look like too much from the outside, but let's go inside where some special magic is happening. You know, this place has been sort of a mecca for bluegrass here in West Georgia, and it's been recently renovated and taken care of. So they've had the second annual Rambler Fest coming up this Labor Day weekend, and we want to listen to a little bit of music here. We got Matt, Bryce, and Josh right here from the Dixie Ramblers here, and Josh, you know, you're part of getting this place back up and running here. And tell me a little bit about the history of this place.
You'll have to ask Thomas, but he gave Bryce the keys last year and allowed us to have this really awesome bluegrass festival last year called Rambler Fest. And this place has just tons of history. There's pictures on the walls of all the people that have played it through the years. But we're just thankful that we could have a place to have bluegrass here for all ages. So it's a special, as you see, it's a special place for sure. It needs to be protected.
And for those who may not realize, I mean, talk to me about the bluegrass community here. How much it's so sort of ingrained in the society here.
Yeah, there's a ton of jammers, as we call them, around here. There's lots of bluegrass jams, and they're all, you know, plumbers, HVAC guys, truckers like Matthew over here. So there's unless you're like in it, you might not know it exists until you have a jam, and then they come. They're just, there's a lot of them in West Georgia, Northwest Georgia for sure.
This place, you know, it's like we said, it's been a bit of a disrepair. You guys have brought it back to life here, got a stage set up, have had to make a lot of repairs, and seeing it, you know, come back to life. And I got Thomas here. He is the owner, 90 years old. You look great for 90, and
it's a put on.
Yeah. and how does it feel to see this place and to kind of have it come back to life?
It's kind of exciting. I mean, after 33 years, you miss it, you know. And we had it here for 33 years. I'm glad to see it come back.
Yeah, and so it's coming back, and Rambler Fest coming up here. It's September 5th and 6th for the for Labor Day.
Yeah, 4th and 5th, so Labor Day weekend. The 5th is the Saturday, so live music that Saturday only. But people are going to come start camping Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Potluck supper Friday night. Chris is welcome to come. I'll text you to remind you, Chris. So I hope you're here. But lots of jamming, lots of food trucks on Saturday. So yeah, Labor Day weekend.
Awesome. All right, why don't you guys play us out here?
Oh, gotta get the banjo ready.
Chris, thanks so much for a look at that. When we join you at 2 and 3 o'clock, they should give you a banjo lesson. I always love banjos. It would be cool to see you try to play it a little bit when you join us for the news at 2 and 3 o'clock. Chris Rosenthal out in West Georgia, thanks so much for joining us. Sounds like a great festival that will be happening Labor Day weekend. As we come back into the newsroom, I want to take you to Fort Payne. So it's an outdoor obstacle course. It's located right in the town green in Peachtree Corners. So we sent our Paul Milliken out there for the workout. Take a look.
Okay, how was your workout this morning?
Workout was great. It was really hard.
Yeah, it looked very hard. What is the most challenging obstacle for you in this course?
The most challenging obstacle for me is definitely the multi-rig. It's just constant reps of swinging, and it's really hard on the shoulders, so it's fun.
The thing is, when you watch people do this, it looks so easy. Would it surprise people how hard all of this stuff is, do you think?
It would surprise people how hard it is to learn, but how fun it is to get good at.
Oh, okay.
All right, once you get it down, then you just kind of get addicted, and you want to get faster, and you want to get better.
Okay, so what if I'm going to jump out there a little bit later? What is your advice to me?
Don't fall.
That's it.
Down.
That's it right there.
Don't hurt yourself.
Done. Do I need to wear a weighted vest?
You don't. You don't.
Look out here. It must be incredible, though, to have this community of people to get to do this with all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, that's how people bond, doing stuff together.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially when you got people who enjoy the same thing and you actually like each other. You make a lot of good friendships out here.
Yeah.
Doing something that's good for you.
Now, you kind of took on the role of drill sergeant a little bit. Do you enjoy telling people what to do at Fort Payne?
That's actually the only time I actually get to be in charge. That, and if I'm in my car alone with the phone off.
Got it. For you, what is the most challenging obstacle in here? Is there one for you that just gets you every time?
The salmon ladder.
Yeah.
Those three over there.
Yeah.
All three of those are very difficult.
Yeah.
Peg wall. Yeah. Because I'm afraid of tearing my shoulder up.
Exactly.
There's a certain fear factor.
It is pretty amazing that the city offers this as a resource for free. I mean, why is it something that's important to the leaders of Peachtree Corners?
Well, I think one that any kind of wellness or fitness is something that people, whether they know it or not, they kind of seek out. Cities have trail systems and whatnot. Yeah. And one of the things we really like to focus on is how can we be unique? What's something different we can offer? And this, really wasn't planned out. It just kind of morphed into this.
Yeah.
But, one of the ideas was, hey, let's build an unusual amenity, attract people to come here.
Yeah.
Which I think we have.
I think you've done it. I've never seen anything else like it. And it keeps getting kind of bigger, right? It started smaller than this.
Yes. Originally, it started out just as there's this trail here. None of this other stuff was here.
Okay.
This wall wasn't here.
Okay.
And during COVID, shut all the gyms down.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people in this group go to the YMCA here in Peachtree Corners.
Okay.
So we're like, well, let's just start working out outside at the town green.
Yeah.
And there was a workout coming up on Memorial Day called the Murph. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. People all over the country do it. It's named after Michael Murphy, who's Navy SEAL. And one of the things you need is a pull-up bar. And that's how it all started.
Okay.
We asked the city. They got, it was over a series of years that it just kind of morphed into this.
So is the goal that eventually all of Peachtree Corners will be one giant obstacle gym?
Yes.
How often do you do this?
We do it Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays out here at Fort Payne.
How much do you love having this as a resource for the city? For free, outdoors, great facility?
It's everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what city pours into their community this way and builds this, and then this helps build community here?
Yeah.
And so we have people that come out that have never done any of this. A lot of the people you saw today, for the first time they came out and they accomplished the bender, but it's a community cheering for them to accomplish it.
Yeah.
And so it is amazing to have this, and we are so lucky.
What's the most challenging obstacle for you?
So I've never completed the warp wall.
Okay. Yeah, that scares me because you're just running toward a wall, right?
Little vertically challenged here.
Got it.
So maybe I've only tried it 3 times, but that's okay.
All right.
Other people can do that.
Absolutely. But you know what? It's all about progress. You got to build up to it, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I want to see Paul Milliken do that warp wall. See if he can make it up. That would be would have been fun to see. I'll have to go back and see if he did that on Good Day Atlanta earlier. Paul, thanks so much. We still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're back in 2 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Tuesday afternoon. The time now is 1:52. I'm Tyler Fingert. So glad you're here. I want to tell you about a very nice story that's happening here in our area today. Some Atlanta kids are getting brand new wheels today. Quinn Residences is building and donating bikes to local families. And our Eli Jordan joins us now with a preview. All the action gets underway in just a few minutes. So walk us through what they're doing today, why they're doing it, and just how great this is for everyone in our community.
Hey, good afternoon, Tyler. Yeah, I'm here in a ballroom in Buckhead where they're going to be putting together a bunch of bikes. Quinn Residences are doing that. They're actually going to be donating these bikes to the APD, Atlanta Police Department Athletic League, so they can donate them through their youth outreach program. And so, it's kind of like helping out the PD while maybe the PD helps them out with a little bit of protection. And joining me right now is the CEO of this is Richard Ross. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Good, Eli. How are you?
I'm all right, not too bad. So you got some nice huffy bikes over here. I like these. Tell me, why are you guys doing this today?
So look, we are a housing company, right? We provide rental homes throughout Georgia and the metro Atlanta community, and we like to give back not only to our residents, but to the police department, particularly the APD, who helps give us protection, and feel like we can contribute to the community by building these bikes for challenged kids through the APD Athletic League.
So you guys are building this from scratch, and you guys have a host of Quinn employees here to participate in this. So how many bikes are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be building 8 bikes today.
And these are brand new huffy bikes. These are perfect for jumping. I know this because I had a bike like this when I was growing up. I would do ramp my friends all the time, and we would do all sorts of crazy things.
Put playing cards in the spokes.
I mean, there's all. Yeah, I mean, this is a great gift for kids. I mean, it's awesome. And so, have you guys done a bike build like this before?
We haven't done a bike build. We've done tons of other community events, all sorts of different things, from filling backpacks for disadvantaged kids, feeding veterans in food banks, things of that nature. Again, a way for us to give back to the community that supports the company.
And so tell me about the company a little bit. Quinn Residences, you guys build homes for rent, right?
We build entire communities for rent, meaning think about a starter home subdivision where every home is for rent. So we house families in 3- and 4-bedroom homes throughout metro Atlanta and really all over the Southeast.
And you house about 6,000 residents roughly, right?
Correct, of which 2,000 homes are located in Georgia.
And you guys are based right here, just right next door.
We're exactly, based here in Buckhead in Atlanta, and that's another reason we want to support the APD because we're homegrown.
And you guys are going to be starting up around 2 o'clock. This is going on to 4 o'clock. And do you expect Atlanta police to show up and take your gifts here?
I think we do. We're expecting a sergeant from the APD Athletic League. We'll deliver the bikes somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon.
So I bet that you guys have some APD officers possibly living in some of your residences?
We do. We offer a program, we call it Hometown Heroes, where we provide incentives for police officers, first responders to reside in our communities, help support that sense of community.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go so you can start building on the bikes, and I'll be here throughout the afternoon to see how you guys are doing. Richard Ross, CEO of Quinn Residences, thank you so much. Tyler, that's what's happening here. We're going to get these bikes built, and I'll be here in the 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock hour. Back to you.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing them accomplish this and be able to help people in our community. Eli Jordan will check in with you over the course of the next several hours, see their progress. Thanks so much. And guys, thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We still have a lot of news to come during the 2 and 3 o'clock hours. At the top of the hour, Ariel Onstott will be joining you. But thanks so much for joining me for the last hour. I'm Tyler Fingert. It has been so much fun to have you along with us. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here live with us on your Tuesday afternoon. We've got a lot of news to get to, and I want to start off in DeKalb County, where we understand a fight at a school in DeKalb triggered a massive police response. Take a look at some of the video we were able to get from Sky Fox 5 as SWAT was on the scene, or actually no, just SUVs, it looks like, in police cars. This was a large police presence at Eagle Woods Academy after a fight between students led to pepper spray being discharged. Now, we understand that when we were able to get this video, we saw a bunch of unmarked police cars, as you're seeing here with us. And what we understand further from DeKalb Fire and Rescue is that they were able to dispatch a fire unit and medical units to the location. DeKalb County Schools confirms that an altercation broke out between students, during which pepper spray was discharged, and a school resource officer actually suffered an allergic reaction to that pepper spray and was forced to administer an EpiPen. Eagle Woods Academy serves students with disabilities in grades 6 through 12 through the Georgia Network for Educational and Therapeutic Support. We'll continue to keep you updated as this situation unfolds. Keep in mind this has resolved at this point. This police presence has left the area, but officials are still investigating the response and, of course, whether any measures need to be taken in future, whether or not to prevent this. We understand that those students involved, no identities have been released as of now, nor have there been any confirmation as to whether or not they're going to face any disciplinary action or what the nature of that fight boiled down to. We'll keep you updated as we get any new details. In the meantime, I do want to let you know that we're getting new body camera video of the moments when Atlanta police were able to rescue 2 kidnapped little girls, 2 sisters here in Atlanta. And this comes as the suspect in this case has waived her first court appearance. Our Ray Urena joins us live with the latest on this story. Ray, what are you learning?
Well, Ariel, like you mentioned, that suspect, Lakeisha Brown, she was supposed to be in court earlier this morning, just a few miles away at the Fulton County Jail at 11 a.m. for her initial hearing, but she decided to waive that hearing, so she was not in court today. Just a little bit about her charges. She's charged with 2 counts of kidnapping and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the first degree. And as you mentioned, Atlanta police just put out new body camera video that shows the moments that officers rescued these 2 girls, ages 4 and 11 months old, respectively, from a tow trailer in Southwest Atlanta. We're playing that video now. From the beginning, you can see that investigators are using what looks like to be a cinder block to try and break the lock on this tow trailer before another officer comes in with bolt cutters, and then they eventually open the door to that tow trailer, where they find the suspect, Lakeisha Brown, and 4-year-old Zola Cooper and 11-month-old Nora Cooper inside. We just got a copy of the arrest warrants from Lakeisha Brown from authorities, and they say inside that trailer there was no air conditioning, and they say yesterday the temperatures peaked at about 97 degrees. So that trailer had no air conditioning, but it did have an open ventilation window at the top of that trailer. So some new information about that trailer. And as it appears, it looks like one of those storage trailers that you kind of pull behind your vehicle whenever you're moving from place to place. So that's the nature of what investigators found. Also, we are learning more about her jail records and her past history to that 2021 case in Alabama that she's also accused of being a suspect in, where she allegedly kidnapped a 4-day-old baby. And jail records show that right now she has active warrants out of Paulding County and Jefferson County, Alabama. And according to Alabama court records, Brown apparently did not show for a scheduled start of a jury trial back on May of this year. And that was connected, of course, to that 4-day-old baby case in 2021. And yesterday afternoon, prosecutors in Alabama filed a motion to revoke her bond, stating that she violated the conditions as a result of her new charges and by failing to appear in court. Police told us yesterday that she did have a warrant out for that specific offense. And the mom in this case, Alicia Redding, she has said that this woman, Lakeisha Brown, she gained her trust over years and years. And this was over the course of a year, I should say. She says that this was the first time that she allowed her to babysit her children. We talked to her yesterday. Here's what she had to say.
The first time I let her take
them with her. She just used to be around, and I was always around when she was around. That's why it's crazy, because she didn't show nothing. She didn't show nothing like, oh, I can't let them be around my kids. It was like a regular auntie, like their auntie right here.
And so here we're in Northwest Atlanta, where this investigation began. We talked to the family. We've been talking to the aunt. She says that the family may want to speak about the new body camera and about the new information that's coming out later on today. So we're standing by just in case we do hear from the family later on today. But overall, Ariel, there's a lot of new information that's coming out today, just a day after officers were able to find those two children safe and sound. We have been told by the arrest warrants that those children were taken to Children's just to be evaluated as well.
Ray, thank you so much for the update. It was incredible to be able to see that body camera footage. One of the things that struck me is just, I know when investigators held their news conference yesterday, they talked about this trailer, and I assumed that it was a trailer like, you know, like a single wide, right? Or something like that, that someone would actually be living in. Not a tow trailer for a truck. I mean, this is not a living space.
No, and investigators said as much in their arrest warrant. They described the conditions in there as uninhabitable and not suitable for human occupation. That's what the investigators said themselves in the probable cause portion of the arrest warrants, which we just got in the past hour. So I'm sure that when people hear a trailer, they're thinking, oh, this is maybe a fifth wheel from a recreational vehicle, or like you said, a single wide trailer that's in the apartment complex. But it turns out to be some sort of storage tow trailer instead, that thankfully investigators were able to get to these kids before anything happened. As they said yesterday, these kids are in good health and are expected to be okay, Ariel.
Ray, just incredible, especially considering, like you mentioned, the temperatures. It has been so incredibly hot, and the fact that they spent extended time in there. So glad that they are both okay. Ray, thanks for joining us. We'll let you get back to gathering some information, and we'll see you again later this evening. As we continue, you guys, I want to let you know what unfolded in Mableton earlier today. We understand SWAT responded to a barricaded person at a Mableton home, and ultimately the SWAT team assisted Cobb County Police. Uniformed patrol officers and SWAT team members responded to this home in Mableton because a person was reportedly barricaded inside. The incident unfolded in the area of Wandering Vine Drive near Wandering Vine Lane. Now, officials with the Cobb County Police Department confirmed the situation's now contained and there is no threat to the surrounding community. But if you were in this area this morning or wanted to know what that large police presence was, now you know. Let's talk about an incredible situation that unfolded at a Tucker townhome. A homeowner returned to his townhome to find a visiting guest dead inside, shot to death. Just incredible. A Gwinnett County police investigation is now unfolding after a man was found dead inside of a Tucker area home Monday afternoon. Officers responded to the Woodland Grove Apartments. This is in the 6100 block of Lawrenceville Highway, and they responded around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Authorities say that a man was visiting the homeowner with the homeowner's knowledge. What police have not released at this time is the victim's identity or any suspects involved or suspect involved in the killing. A motive for the shooting has also not been established, but police say when the homeowner returned to his townhome, he discovered the guest inside, shot and lying on the ground. Investigators are still trying to piece the clues together. Take a listen to what Gwinnett County Police had to say.
Detectives are still investigating at this time. They're reviewing video footage and talking to witnesses. This is believed to be an isolated incident, but the motive is still unknown. At this time, there's no official suspect, but again, given the details that they know at this time, it is believed to be isolated.
So we'll keep you updated as officials release any new information in Gwinnett. They are asking anyone with any information to connect to the Gwinnett County Police Department and specifically asked to speak to the detectives unit, and you can remain anonymous. As we continue here, I want to get you out to a live look at Dublin, Ohio. This is where Governor Brian Kemp has suspended all board members on the Dublin School Board. Let's talk about why. Tuesday. 7 members of the Dublin City Board of Education have been suspended by the governor as the school system's facing the possibility of losing its accreditation. The governor signed an executive order Monday suspending Amanda Smith, John Bell, Jeff Davis, Joanna Glover, Peggy Johnson, James Lanier, and Kenny Walters. The move comes after the Dublin City Board of Education notified the state that the district had been placed at the accreditation level immediately preceding the loss of accreditation. So basically, they're on the chopping block, the school system is. That triggered a process under Georgia law that includes a state board of education hearing coming up August 12th. After that hearing, the state board recommended that Governor Kemp suspend all eligible members of the Dublin School Board. So the governor is now moving to temporarily fill those seats after that meeting was held back on the 12th. His executive order creates a 4-member Dublin City Board of Education nominating committee that will recommend temporary replacements. The governor will then make those appointments. So we will keep you updated as this situation moves forward. A little closer to home here, or another story we're following. You've heard a lot about some of the controversy surrounding flock cameras and the frustrations that some residents have had. Well, let's take a look at what's unfolded in Lumpkin County, Georgia, because the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office is now offering a $1,000 reward for information after he says someone destroyed a flock safety camera near Yahula Creek Park. Sheriff Stacy Gerard said the license plate reader was being used as a public safety tool, including to help alert authorities when registered sex offenders entered the park. And Gerard said the damaged equipment will be replaced and the new camera will have video capabilities that could identify anyone who tries to tamper with it. This comes as Flock's expanding network of license plate readers is facing increasing scrutiny over privacy and how law enforcement agencies use this data. Police say the technology can help investigators locate stolen vehicles, identify suspects, and solve crimes. But at the same time, a lot of other citizens are concerned about privacy. The concerns were reflected in the responses to the sheriff's social media post. More than 17,000 comments have been left on that post, many of them reflecting the public's concern over the potential uses of the flock system on law-abiding citizens. Keep in mind, this was a subject of a news conference earlier today where the Atlanta Coalition wanted to hold a news conference to pressure authorities not to use flock as it relates to ICE investigations. And they wanted to, as they say, end Flock's complicity with ICE. So we'll keep you updated as that continues to move forward. In the meantime, I'd like to get out to Sonoy, where our Doug Evans is digging into a story here this afternoon. Doug, I've seen the rounds on social media about this woman who was reportedly attacked, grabbed from behind while she was out. What can you share with us?
Hey, good afternoon, Ariel. Attempted attack. She was able to get away from the man who hid in the shadows 10 o'clock at night and jumped out at her, tried to wrestle her to the ground and sexually assault her. She was able to get away. And I'm on Travis Street right now here in Sonoy. It turns out this is a pretty famous street for any of you who have taken the movie tours here in Sonoy. Over 20 films and television shows shot here, some of the most famous ones shot on this street. As a matter of fact, it happened very near the train trestle or train bridge. Let me turn the camera around. That is so famous here, a tourist attraction. Happened very near that bridge over the railroad tracks. And there, of course, is one of the most famous homes in all of Sonoy and movie making. That was in Fried Green Tomatoes, and it happened very near this intersection here of Travis and Bridge Street. What we know from Sonoy police is that the woman was out walking at 10 o'clock, walking down here on Travis Street between Bridge Street and Clark Street. I'm heading in the direction of Clark Street right now. The man jumped out, tried to grab her. She was able to get away, and then he fled the scene. We understand that Sonoy police are still working on this case. They were not able to speak with us today because of the work that is ongoing on the case. But it's an alarming thing and something that has happened in this very quiet town that we don't normally see here. And so, again, walking down Travis Street here, you can see any number of places where somebody might hide, right? Trees, brush, that sort of thing. The train tracks are down over there in this ravine. So this is where the woman was talking. They urge some precaution right now. If you're out walking in the evenings or at night, take a buddy with you. Situational awareness is a good thing right now as they search for the man who attempted to attack this woman. That intersection right there, Ariel, coming up, that's Clark Street. That's kind of the end of the crime scene right here, but it did happen in this very area.
Doug, a terrifying situation. Have police released any description of this person, anyone that people can be on the lookout for, any closer they are to catching whoever may have done this?
Yeah, well, an interesting thing about Sonoy, I'm going to head back this way, you guys, head back to Bridge Street up there. The interesting thing about Sonoy is that they have cameras. Now, we're not just talking flock cameras, right? A lot of people are commenting about flock cameras. Well, where are the flock cameras? Well, flock cameras are license plate readers, right? This city is particularly wired with video cameras. They're on every single block of this town. So I got to believe that they are pulling the surveillance video, and I've covered numerous stories here that have been helped by the surveillance video that has come from these cameras. I remember a few years ago, Ariel, we did a story about a guy who was flashing women on the streets of Sonoy, and he was captured by someone who recognized his face in those video cameras. So
I remember
I got to believe that the police here are looking into that, and that is part of the investigation.
Well, Doug, thanks for the update, and hopefully police are able to share more soon. I understand the community's concerned, no doubt, after this incident, so hopefully we are able to get some answers soon and police are able to capture who may be responsible. Doug, thank you so much for joining us live. I know we'll see you again later this evening with the latest information. As we continue here at 2 o'clock, you guys, let's talk about a wanted man who was arrested in Midtown and found with a designer bag full of drugs. You're taking a look at some body camera footage of the situation. This unfolded at a Midtown Atlanta hotel last weekend after police discovered a loaded handgun alongside a stash of purple heroin, crack, and methamphetamines hidden inside this designer bag. They arrested 33-year-old Jacob Taylor at the Hilton Garden Inn off 10th Street Northwest after he refused to check out of his room. Around 1 a.m. August 9th, officers got an anonymous tip that a wanted man was staying at the Midtown Hotel. Staff escorted officers to the room where Taylor answered a knock and talk and was then detained. When officers tried to confirm the Fulton County warrant, Taylor allegedly provided a false name and a forged driver's license. Hotel management authorized a room search where officers found a loaded revolver handgun and a designer bag full of those drugs. They were able to confiscate additional drugs like Adderall, Xanax, cocaine, as well as the meth and purple heroin. Now, he's going to face additional charges, including trespass, obstruction, forgery, giving a false name, among other charges. We'll continue to keep you updated as the situation moves forward. Let's talk about what's happening here on a national level, because we understand that 4 states are holding primary elections today. Voters are heading to the polls in Florida, Wyoming, California, and Alaska. The question is Florida ready for a Democratic socialist? Progressive activist and DSA member Oliver Larkin is trying to unseat 2-term incumbent Jared Moskowitz in Florida's newly drawn 25th congressional district, the final litmus test for the socialist movement before the midterms. Florida's new congressional map was redrawn to favor Republicans, and it's also causing drama for another Democratic House race in South Florida. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is now running for a newly drawn, predominantly black district against 4 black candidates, including self-described socialist Elijah Manley. There's also a slew of controversial candidates on Florida's ballot today, including former members of Congress looking to make a comeback and an incumbent facing mounting allegations of assault and domestic violence. Over in Alaska, voters will have to check their ballot twice. In a key Senate race, GOP incumbent Dan Sullivan is facing another candidate with the same name. Republicans say this is a trick by Democrats to confuse voters. The other Dan Sullivan claims he's a real candidate, but the DOJ is investigating his campaign's legitimacy and alleged coordination with the Democratic Party. As we continue on here, you guys, always remember you're a part of the conversation. So if there's a story you want to see covered or you have a question about any of the stories we're covering, TikTok, YouTube, I'll work to answer your questions. Burrell here in our TikTok chat saying, I think I've seen him around before. I understand, Burrell, you're talking about that wanted man police were able to arrest. That's interesting. It's funny. It's a small place. Atlanta's pretty small, so I'm sure you recognize some of the folks we talk about here sometimes. But speaking of midterm elections, let's talk about what lawmakers are trying to do with your student loans. There's now a bipartisan push to cap federal student loan interest rates at 2%. This is mostly Republican lawmakers who are trying to get the deal done before the midterm elections. But Representatives Anna Paulina Luna, Mike Lawler, and Jared Moskowitz have signed on to a discharge petition. This is a way to go around House leadership and force a vote on the House floor. They're trying to cap federal student loan interest rates at 2% for new and existing loans. The idea being, instead of forgiving all student debt, give those borrowers a chance to actually pay their loans off with a 2% interest rate instead of a 6 to 9% current rate. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says House Democrats who've supported this idea for years are now suddenly silent or opposing it. And it's a topic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has championed in the past. The effort is seen as a bit of a long shot. It's going to take 218 House members to sign this discharge petition to move it forward. And so far, Moskowitz is the only Democrat to have signed it. As for Luna, she says she's reached out to President Trump to try to get his support, but so far she hasn't heard back. We'll keep you updated on this one because no doubt a 2% interest rate would affect a lot of you and make your student loans much more affordable than they likely currently are as it stands. Let's talk about the latest regarding vaccines because the vaccine exemption rate has now hit a new high. Fewer kids are getting their shots ahead of the school year. Doctors say that's a problem, but the Trump administration say it's simply prioritizing what it sees as bigger health risks. Just a week after President Trump signed an executive order that changed the child vaccine schedule, new CDC data shows that vaccine exemptions among kindergartners has hit a record high of 4.2% last year. The majority of those exemptions were for non-medical reasons, and some doctors are blaming Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., who's been called a vaccine skeptic. Medical groups are pointing to resurgent diseases like measles, with only 92% of kids getting the MMR vaccine last year, below the 95% threshold needed to maintain herd immunity. Take a listen to what one doctor has to say, as well as a representative from the Trump administration.
This is RFK Jr.'s goal, which is to induce chaos and confusion into the system so people aren't sure what they're supposed to do.
We don't really have herd immunity for anything anymore, and so you got to build the immunity in your own little personal herd. That's your family.
Now, ultimately, we understand that this is something that when I want to actually take a listen, because one of the people that I wanted you guys to hear from, I don't think was able to speak. So let's talk about this, because we heard from a representative from the Trump administration, to give both sides here, who said that 0 Americans have died of measles, but instead pointed to obesity as being the larger concern and the bigger health crisis. With students heading back to classrooms for the new school year, doctors say if you have questions about vaccines, just ask. Idaho had the highest exemption rate. Nearly 1 out of every 5 kindergartners there were not vaccinated. So we will continue to keep you updated as this moves forward. In the meantime, coming up next, I want to check in on your weather forecast with meteorologist Alex Forbes. Sweltering outside. Alex has the latest straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstead. Thanks so much for being here live with us on your Tuesday afternoon. Meteorologist Alex Forbes ready to give our weather updates. Alex, what's going on?
Still hot.
It really
Still
is.
hot.
It really is.
So, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday in terms of your actual air temperature, but that humidity, it really just kind of whacks you when you walk outside.
It does.
So it's still August and kind of doing the same old here in Metro Atlanta, North Georgia. Now, the temperature where we are right now, 89, that is actually our average high temperature for the day. And we are at 227 in the afternoon. So obviously we are going to go warmer than that. But look at these numbers compared to yesterday. 7 degrees cooler in Atlanta, 6 degrees cooler in Canton, 5 degrees cooler in Athens and in Covington, 4 degrees cooler over in Eatonton. But this is the killer, right? Anytime your dew point's over 70, you are in that soupy air. People call winter soup weather. I call it August, right? Because it feels like you're in the soup outside. It's still very much the time of year where you walk out and your sunglasses fog up immediately as you hit the outside. So it feels like 100 in Covington, 106 in Eatonton, 100 in Athens, 93 in Gainesville, 91 in Canton, and 87 over in Dalton at this hour. So for the day today, for the remainder of the day, going to top off 92, 93, somewhere in there for the afternoon before we begin to cool into the evening hours tonight. There will be some cloud cover out there, but not a lot of it. There wasn't really anything to show there on the forecast map, so I don't need to go back to it. 90s, the name of the game over the next several days. I do think we get back up into that 98 territory by maybe Thursday, but then as we find our way towards the weekend and in towards next week, we've got low 90s, which will put us 3 or 4 degrees above the norm. So there's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. Only real speed bump is on Friday at 30% in terms of a chance of rain, but the heat, it is going to be on. It's going to be on full blast, and we're going to keep that going in towards the end of the month. I think maybe that last weekend in August, so a week from this upcoming weekend, you could get some cooler air, but cooler is relative, right? It's not fake fall. It's highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 60s.
Right.
You know, it's not the
It's
the
incredible
September tease.
how, it's not first fake fall.
Right.
It is incredible, though, how what we get used to shapes our reality and what we're willing to handle. Right. I was in Chicago this past weekend, and there were a couple times where the wind blew, and it was maybe mid or lower 70s, and I thought, oh, it's cold. I need a jacket.
Perfect time to mention it because so I'm going to Wisconsin on Thursday, and I was like, high is 72. Where are the jeans? Like, you know. Meanwhile, we've been saying that in April it'd be the exact opposite. It's like 72. It's so warm.
It's so warm. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Alex. Yep. Appreciate you. All right, guys, let's continue on here and get the latest regarding the weather situation in Hawaii. We understand that days after Lala pummeled Hawaii as a Category 1 hurricane, cleanup efforts are just getting underway. Tuesday morning, more than 73,000 people were without power, down from some 200,000 at the height of the storm. Lala avoided making direct landfall, but wind gusts as strong as 80 miles per hour knocked down trees and tore roofs from buildings. The National Weather Service says that rain fell at a rate of 3 to 5 inches per hour at times, flooding roads and cutting off access to a major highway. Now, Hawaiian officials say more than 100 homes on the Big Island were swept from their foundations, and they warned potential landslides could further isolate some communities in the coming days. Hawaiian officials are asking the Trump administration to approve an upcoming request for emergency funding to be able to get things cleaned up. In the meantime, officials with Meta are arriving for a historic child privacy trial. They arrived at the federal courthouse in Oakland, California today. And this is a trial centering on child privacy and social media addiction. The court case involves 30 states that claim Meta violated laws protecting children and sought changes to how Instagram and Facebook operate. The states are seeking significant financial penalties and changes to features central to the platform's user experience. In the meantime, let's talk. We're gonna get into some legal stuff, right? We've got a lot of cases going on, historic legal cases between the latest with Luigi Mangione, the Lindsay Clancy trial, and now this. Let's talk about the man accused of orchestrating the killing of Tupac Shakur. Opening statements began in Las Vegas Monday for the man accused of orchestrating this 1996 killing. Prosecutors say they plan to prove former Los Angeles gang leader Dewan Keffe D. Davis ordered the shooting, though they were clear to say he did not pull the trigger. The trial comes nearly 30 years after the rapper was famously killed in a drive-by shooting, and the cold case was revived after the 2019 release of Davis's tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, where he allegedly admits to orchestrating the shooting. Prosecutors say Davis's role in the murder was a, quote, act of revenge after his nephew was attacked by the rapper's entourage. Now the 63-year-old says he didn't write the memoir and claims the book was just a ploy to make money. After his opening statements Monday, Davis's defense attorney says he's feeling hopeful, adding that his client lied in that memoir. Take a listen.
As of right now, things are just going the way it should. So witnesses, we don't know for sure who's going to be called when, just because of the nature of the case, the people that are willing to come forward and testify or not. So every day is sort of will be a surprise. The length of time is going to be a huge problem for anybody to try to recall things, to try to remember things. It's just not how it works. That's why police reports are important. That's why detectives writing good reports are critical for this kind of case. Ronald Reagan back in the day said, right next to Gorbachev, I think, he said, we trust but we verify. So the idea behind it is this: you can sort of believe people, but you also want to make sure that you verify the information.
How's KPG today?
He was hopeful. He's in a good place right now. Yeah. The jitters are out.
Davis has been charged with murder with a deadly weapon with the intent to promote, further, or assist a criminal gang as it relates to Tupac Shakur's death. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Let's talk about the latest regarding the Lindsay Clancy trial, because the prosecution has now rested its case after 13 days of testimony. This trial could go into early September, as the defense now is putting Lindsay Clancy's mother and sister on the stand. Both spoke to what they observed as her deteriorating mental state. The triple murder trial of Lindsay Clancy is now entering a new phase as the defense begins to present this unique case. According to Clancy's lawyers, this trial is not about what happened, but rather why it happened. Clancy's lawyer admitted that the mom from Massachusetts killed her 3 kids, but instead blamed her doctors for allegedly missing red flags. The defense claims Clancy was on 13 different psychiatric medications over the course of 1 year that allegedly led to voices telling her to kill her 3 kids in an episode of postpartum psychosis. Prosecutors on the other side argue mental health struggles do not equal legal insanity. And if convicted, Lindsay Clancy could face life in prison. We'll keep you updated as this moves forward. In the meantime, Luigi Mangione, let's get the latest regarding the situation with his trial, because his murder trial has now been postponed indefinitely as lawyers seek to have the case thrown out after his guilty plea last week. The trial was scheduled to begin September 8th. It's now being challenged on double jeopardy grounds, and the New York judge overseeing the case issued an order Monday canceling the trial. Mangione's lawyers accused state and federal prosecutors of trying to punish the 28-year-old twice for the same conduct. The legal challenge comes days after Mangione pled guilty to federal charges this past Friday. Those charges accused him of traveling across state lines to stalk and kill former United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in December of 2024. Federal prosecutors said they would seek life in prison. Those sentencing guidelines call for a term of 24 to 30 years. Meanwhile, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office says it would fight efforts to cancel the state's case, in part because Mangione's federal sentence is not yet known. The DA says the state charges, including murder and firearms offenses, involve different legal elements and conduct than that federal case. And Mangione has not pled guilty in the New York State case, which could carry the potential of a life sentence. The Manhattan DA has until October 9th to respond to the defense's claims, and a hearing will be held December 10th ahead of Mangione's federal sentencing. As we continue at 2 o'clock, coming up, we are talking a little bit about how hot it is with meteorologist Alex Forbes. We're going to go out live to a shelter now forced to capacity because of the heat. Our Maria Guzman's going to join us live, and then we're going to take a look at the way a local business is giving back to the Atlanta Police Athletic Foundation to give kids some bikes. And finally, we're going to round out with a bluegrass festival that you can enjoy over the Labor Day holiday. All of that coming up. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for joining us live here at 2 o'clock. We're talking about how hot it is outside, and for one shelter in West Midtown, it's forcing them to face capacity because of this heat. Our Maria Guzman joins us live from West Midtown. Maria, your shot's a little blurry here, but I think we can hear you. So what can you share with us about the situation there?
Hey Ariel, yes, I'm inside a restoration house that's located in West Midtown. I've been talking to leaders with Atlanta Mission. They tell me that on an average day, about 90 people stay right here at the restoration house. They can house up to around 100. And lately, the last several days, because it's been so hot outside, they've been in max capacity. So that means having to turn people away each day. They tell me that as early as 6:30 in the morning, there's people outside in lines waiting to come here inside. So I'm actually in one of the quarters. This is where families can stay, moms if they have kids as well. But I got to chat with the leaders on just the influx that they're seeing, and also why severe weather like this, just extremely hot, can be so dangerous for our on-house community. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that. So I think we're still waiting to hear from that interview, but she just mentioned that they already face a lot of challenges outside. If they're in a pavement, the pavement can get extremely hot. I'm gonna go ahead and flip my camera around, and hopefully this shot does not get frozen, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of the quarters. And actually this is all free, and what's really special as well is if somebody comes here inside trying to avoid the heat, they can stay up here up to 30 days. So really the goal is to get people inside here and just get them the right resources. There is a closet that they're able to go through and shop around. There's computers they're able to use, and as well even apply for jobs. So a lot of the times the people that they serve during this time, they come inside to escape the weather, and leaders here at the Restorations House, they try to equip them with those resources. I believe we do have the sound, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that play for you guys.
Being on a house is dangerous in and of itself, and extreme weather just exasperates that situation. During the heat right now, it's exasperating health conditions, heat stroke, other things. For individuals who find themselves living on the streets each day, it's situations that the cement that they're laying on is up to 200 degrees at times, and it just doesn't afford for a healthy living and sustainable when they're already struggling to just maintain basic living conditions. The weather has been crazy hot over the past 5 days, and we have definitely seen an increase of numbers who line up outside of our shelter every morning seeking a little bit of refuge from this extreme heat. We are currently in one of our dorms for Restoration House. This is where our women and children who come and seek support are staying each and every night, and we're happy to provide personalized, private. It definitely doesn't look like what you would expect. We hear that all the time for a shelter. Here we're doing everything from their laundry to their cleaning to their cooking, to make sure that they have an opportunity to just stabilize and be supported and feel the love and the hope that we hope that they would have, so that they can make the best decisions for improving their current situation. Intake starts about 8:30 every morning, and we start seeing lines forming as early as 5:30, 6:30 each day. Our services are more than just emergency shelter. So coming in on day one, we're going to make sure that you get a bed, and make sure you get something to eat, but we're also going to make sure you're equipped with clothing. If you are coming in as a mom with a child, we're going to provide supplies for you and your child, including diapers and formula and food for your children. We're going to make sure that they have toys and equipment to entertain them, as well as making sure that we're giving you skills and services and case management to support the mom, to make sure that their time with us is important, and we've invested in them in transforming their life. Anyone can stay with our services no matter what their need is for 30 days minimum. Our goal is that within those 30 days that you are so encouraged to invest and transform the situation that you're currently finding yourself in, that you stay with us long term and take advantage of our holistic programming. Our holistic programming is roughly about 6 to 8 months, and then after those 6 to 8 months, we're gonna support you in getting a job and employment, and then you can stay with us even an additional 6 months as you work and save and invest in your budget and finances in order to make sure that you're equipped to move out into sustainable housing. We would love for you to go to our website at www.atlantamission.org, find opportunities of how you can give, how you can volunteer, and how you could just support any of these individuals that come through our doors.
And just in a few minutes, all these families are going to be coming here to their quarters. They're all downstairs using those resources that she mentioned. Again, they're at full capacity due to the hot weather that a lot of people are experiencing. Ariel.
Maria, thanks so much for the update, letting us know about this resource in our community. We'll see you again here at 3 o'clock. As we continue here at 2 you guys, let's talk about how a business is making a donation to the Atlanta Police Athletic Foundation. Our Eli Jordan is checking this out and joins us live. And Eli, I understand some kids are going to be able to get some bikes because of this.
Hey, it looks that way, Ariel. Yeah, I am in a ballroom in Buckhead, in a hotel in Buckhead, where Quinn Residences are putting together 8 bikes, brand new bikes, right out of the box, to donate to the APD Athletic League, so that they can donate those bikes in their youth outreach program. And real quick, Quinn Residences, they build whole communities of rental houses, and they got they're headquartered here, and they've got about $1 billion footprint here in Georgia, and they have housed about 6,000 residents here and across the Southeast, and they decided to give back a little bit. And who protects their communities? Well, the police department. And joining me right now is the director of operations, Blake Thomas. Hey, Blake, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So you guys have a little friendly competition. We got groups here, and they all got one bike put together, but they each have another bike to put together.
Yes, they actually have another bike to put together. So it's 2 bikes per team. These are actually our portfolio managers and maintenance supervisors in competing against each other to give back to the community of the bikes.
So how did you guys come up with this idea to, why the APD and why bikes?
Actually, we just wanted to give back to the community because we serve the communities here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we reached out to events, corporate events, and they came to us with a solution of bikes and giving back to the community. So
and this seems like a really good, for you guys, a team building experience.
Yes, absolutely. It brings our teams together to work together, building the bikes.
And so how did you guys get these bikes?
They're actually just mailed them into us, and we unpacked them and started putting them together.
And did you guys get the monies for these bikes? They donated, or who?
Actually, no. We purchased the bikes from Best Corporate Events, and then mailed them to us, and then we put them together.
Okay.
And then we're going to be donating them to the local police department.
Cool. So, you guys ever done anything like this before? Have your coworkers build bikes and stuff?
Not necessarily building bikes, but we always do giving back to the community events throughout different communities. Whether it's a couple of weeks ago we packed backpacks for the kids in the community. How's that mouse doing? I got
So we got different kind of bikes here. These are nice, huffy bikes.
Yeah,
Ariel,
it's a
if
girl's
you've
bike
ever
there.
Yeah, no. I used to have not a bike like this, but about that size. I didn't have the tassels, and it wasn't pink, but mine was yellow. That was a long time ago, but I'm getting flashbacks seeing these bikes here. And so you got everybody's getting all psyched up. I like the enthusiasm that they're showing in building these bikes. Yeah. And so the APD, are you guys going to have anybody come up here and grab these bikes?
Yes, somebody should be here between 3:15 and 3:30 to pick up the bikes, and they're going to take them back to the station and give back to families within the area with kids that are less fortunate.
Now, you kind of help organize this and stuff. What's it feel like for yourself personally to see it kind of come to fruition and everything's being successful right now?
It feels great. Feels great. Feels great to even see the teams come together to build the bikes, knowing that we're giving back to the community and to the kids of the communities that we serve.
And I like the quality checks. We had a few guys out
Absolutely.
here
The tire
popping some
check.
wheelies and stuff. And need to get a ramp out here. And what you should do is get a ramp out here, put a ramp right here, line up your employees, and see if we can ramp over them.
Absolutely.
That would be really cool.
Let's give that a try.
And that would give it a real good quality control check. So they each have 2 more bikes to put together, or 1 more bike to put together.
We have 3.
Oh, we got 3 more bikes to put
3
together?
more bikes to put together.
All right, so maybe we can catch some of that competition. But
Total of 8 bikes.
They put these together really quick, and if I was a kid and I was getting a bike like this, I would be so excited. This is such a great gift to give to the APD for them to use for their outreach program. But we'll be out here through the next hour, Ariel, and we'll be trying to catch some of this competition going on while they build these bikes for the Atlanta Police Department for their youth outreach program.
I'm about to put you on camera. I'm about to put you on TV. I'm kidding.
Eli, this is so cool. I so relate
Finishing
to
their
what you
team
said.
building activity.
Yeah, I so relate to what you said about how sick it would be to have one of those bikes as a kid, because there was no better feeling than getting a brand new bike. That one looks pretty sweet. Maybe there'll be one in your size, Eli, and you can take one home or get one similar to it. Eli Jordan reporting live for us. Thanks so much. We'll see you again here upcoming at 3 o'clock. Coming up, you guys, we are going to check in with our Chris Rosenthal about a bluegrass festival happening in West Georgia. Stay tuned. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here live with us at 2 o'clock on your Tuesday afternoon. Listen, if you're looking for some plans for the Labor Day holiday weekend coming up, we are going to check in with our Chris Rosenthal, who is introducing us to Rambler Fest, Chris. And I understand it celebrates Georgia's bluegrass music scene.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's actually a pretty lively scene here in West Georgia. I'm actually at the Outpost Bluegrass Barn here in Waco, Georgia. This place is a historic place. I'll just kind of pan around and show you. It's been here for decades and fallen into a little bit of disrepair, but it's part of the big, deep bluegrass tradition here in West Georgia, and some of these folks here have taken it as their mission to renovate it here, get it back up and running and clean and all set to go. And I've got some of the members of the Dixie Ramblers here playing. I got Josh, Matt, and Bryce here. Let's just take a minute to listen in here. Guys, it sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. So, so Josh, tell me, this place, this is the Outpost Bluegrass Barn here.
Yeah.
What makes this place so historic, so special here?
Dude, it's in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, Haralson County, Georgia. It is just pure bluegrass. The walls, the pictures on the walls, it's like early 80s redneck Chernobyl, is how I would describe it to somebody. It's like, look at the seats, man. Look at the seats.
I mean, yeah, that is just vintage.
Yeah.
I mean, super vintage. But, you know, you guys...
Bluegrass heaven right here.
And it's got a history of that. And but you guys have had to kind of fix it up here a little bit, huh?
Yeah, so last year we launched our first bluegrass festival called Rambler Fest here and raised a little bit of cash to fix some stuff up. And the most pertinent need at the time was fixing some water issues, so we raised some cash, and these guys and Jesse made a French drainage system situation outside, so there's no more water getting in here. If you came in here this time last year, there was probably an inch of water and it smelled and stuff, so fix that. And there's probably some little things here and there that needs to be done, but the most important thing was to fix that water issue and bring this thing back and put it back on the bluegrass map, baby.
And talking about that bluegrass map, I mean, tell me, for those that may not be in the know, bluegrass scene here in Georgia. I mean, talk to me about it.
Yeah, you've got the our Murchie. They have a jam actually this Labor Day weekend as well. So if you're in kind of north, North Rome area-ish, they still jam up there. Find the Facebook stuff, our Murchie Bluegrass Festival. You had the Raccoon Creek Festival that went on for years, and it didn't happen in this year, but we felt the need kind of in West Georgia to kind of, replace some of the things that were missing, and so we did this one. But there's a huge bluegrass scene in West Georgia and Northwest Georgia. Donnelly's Music, I told you about that offline, Chris, but there's a music store in Holly Springs that's kind of like the bluegrass music store hub of North Georgia. Just a lot of bluegrassers that pick and have jams here and there. There's Everett's Music Barn in Sewanee as well.
You had this festival here last year. I mean, talk to me about the turnout. You guys have space for RVs here. Tell me about that.
Yeah, to be candid, we didn't know what to expect last year. I honestly thought just our friends were going to show up, and we were overwhelmed. It was packed, and so
we put it together in a month last year.
Yeah, literally a month. So this year we had a whole year, obviously. I didn't do that great on sponsors like I thought I was going to do, but was able to get some sponsors for sure, and be able to pay the bands this year. And we expect this place to be pretty full. It's still small. We don't want too many people. It's gonna be packed, I think. So
awesome. Well, that festival comes up Labor Day weekend, and you can go on the Rambler Fest website and find out more. Get your tickets and come on out here. I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun watching these guys play. And let's have you guys play us out here.
You play too, Chris. Just so you guys know, Chris brought his guitar and he's good.
Chris, they sound incredible. Learning something new about you, too. I heard Josh say you're a great guitar player. Maybe you need to come serenade us here in the Fox 5 newsroom. Rambler Fest in West Georgia. Thanks so much for introducing us, Chris. We will see you again here upcoming at 3 o'clock. Well, guys, before I let you go here at 2, let's talk about a one-of-a-kind house that has hit the market. It could be yours for a cool lot of money. Let's be real here. This is in California, and we understand this one-of-a-kind rotating home, you can see it now, is seeking a new owner. Locals in Novato, California call it the Roundhouse. The spaceship-looking home has been around since 1963, with onlookers viewing the unique structure off Highway 101. The circular 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, his most novel feature is that it rotates, thanks to 2 washing machine motors and an old railroad track that can help it spin around as far as 320 degrees in 25 minutes time. Now, Sam Harkleroad, a local builder known for unconventional projects, constructed this round home. His grandson, Harold Posey, who now owns the house, says he believes the roundhouse reflected his grandfather's personality, but now he's parting with this unique building, saying that maintaining it has become too difficult for his age. For current renter Jessie Adams, she says while the home may be fun, the design also serves some more practical purposes. She says that you can just turn the home around when you want your views to change, and suddenly the sun's coming up in a different window or different room, so you can follow the sunrise or the sunset in the same time of day if you want it. How cool is that? This 2-acre property is listed for $3.3 million. Like I said, just a cool few bucks, and includes 6 additional dwellings, including the neighboring potato chip house for its distinct swooping roof line. Listen, a one-of-a-kind spinning house next to the potato chip house. What more could you ask for? Guys, I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being live with me here at 2. Tom Haynes is standing off in the wings, getting ready to join you for 3 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 3 p.m. streaming hour. I'm your host, Tom Haynes, here for the next hour as we get you up to speed on all the stories that are breaking this afternoon. So let's get right to it today. Let's bring you up to date on that babysitter accused of abducting that child yesterday. I should say 2 children who were found, thank goodness, safe and are in the arms of their mother this afternoon. But the woman accused of kidnapping these 2 young Atlanta sisters waived her first court appearance this morning in Fulton County. This is a story you saw breaking right here on Fox Local yesterday as we saw police take those 2 young innocent victims back into custody. Lakeisha Brown facing charges of kidnapping and cruelty to children after police found a 4-year-old and an 11-month-old child safe in an apartment complex yesterday. Meanwhile, Alabama prosecutors moving to revoke Brown's bond in a separate 2021 kidnapping case after she failed to show up for trial back in May. So this woman was already in trouble, unbeknownst to the mother here in Fulton County, who trusted her and handed her children over to her to babysit them, according to police. And then this babysitter then wound up abducting them, according to police as well. Brown also facing outstanding warrants in Paulding County, and it remains unclear if she will face extradition back to Alabama or remain in the Fulton County jail as she faces charges for the abduction of these two girls. Again, this all happening yesterday. The girls found safe, thank goodness. They were brought to the hospital just to be checked out. We heard from the emotional mother here yesterday who are they're just happy that they're safe and back in that mother's arms. This babysitter, though, in a lot of trouble this afternoon and facing those charges. Some local groups and elected officials are holding a news conference outside Atlanta City Hall to demand new restrictions on flock safety cameras. These have become somewhat of a flashpoint and controversial in and of themselves. The coalition accuses the company of facilitating unwarranted immigration enforcement tactics with ICE and allowing technology that puts residents at risk. Angelique Proctor, live in downtown Atlanta this afternoon, who was dialed into this news conference. Angelique, what more can you tell us about what happened here today?
Well, good afternoon to you, Tom, and all of our viewers. You are so right. Flock cameras have become very controversial. It seems that they are all over town. Now, some residents, though, giving pushback, saying that they don't want Big Brother looking over their shoulder, watching their every move as they take their children to daycare or whatever their daily routine is. But police agencies say, hey, we are using these flock cameras to actually solve crimes. They are working for us, and this is a tool, a new technological tool that we are using that we want to continue to use. But here's the rub. Some 50 law enforcement officers nationwide have been arrested recently, and that has certainly gotten a lot of people's attention and raised a whole lot of eyebrows. About 12 of those law enforcement people are here in the state of Georgia. So the Atlanta Coalition, which is several grassroots organizations, got together today and had a news conference. They basically are critical of the flock cameras and the companies and police agencies that are using these license plate tracking devices. They say in some instances police have been using these cameras for personal use or even to target immigrants. But the co-founder of Flock says the system's good definitely outweighs the bad. Let's take a listen.
In 2021, there were 3,300 cameras on Atlanta streets. Now compare that number to this one, 28,626. That's how many cameras are currently watching the residents of Atlanta live their lives. In 5 years, Atlanta went from 3,300 to 28,500 cameras. That's an 8-fold expansion. 28,000 cameras trained on Atlantans, providing real-time data about where you go and what you do to anyone who can access the network or its stored data. Here's the next number, 18.9 million. That's how many taxpayer dollars DeKalb County has invested alone in this master surveillance network in 2025. Government officials will tell you that all of this helps to solve crime. But a study by the Atlanta Community Press Collective shows that only a fraction of 1 percentage point has been impacted in burglary and motor vehicle theft alone, while FBI data analyzed from 2021 to 2025 showed no impact in crime solving for homicide, robbery, or rape. The number of cameras expanded 8-fold. DeKalb County alone has invested $28 million, and all for what? For like 5 or 6 burglary cases?
I believe solve about 1 million crimes with our technology. 10,000 missing people have gone home because of it. This feels like pretty small in comparison.
So the debate about flock cameras definitely continues. The co-owner of the company, which is based right here in Atlanta, says that they now have a self-audit technology, and that actually led to a lot of these arrests. And she feels like since officers know that that technology is now on the systems, it will hopefully deter them from doing anything personal or anything illegal. But some of the critics say if we're in the position where police are policing themselves, then we are certainly in trouble. Tom.
Angelique, it's interesting because I felt like, in a way, the woman was just kind of, a few burglaries and that was it. So in my judgment, there's going to have to be a reckoning here between opponents of flock cameras and supporters of these cameras. I mean, you just think of these two poor, helpless girls that were kidnapped yesterday, according to police, allegedly by their babysitter, and saying how critical these flock cameras were in tracking them down. So, and then I remember, and so do you as well, the man that went into the Northside Hospital building in Midtown, shot and murdered somebody there and then went on the loose. He was ultimately found up in Cobb County. But again, it was flock cameras that were able to track that suspect down. So they do serve a purpose. So I just wonder where this meeting of the minds is ultimately going to come. And I'm not putting you on the spot, but it's going to be an interesting conversation to be had about the efficacy and effectiveness of flock cameras.
You are certainly correct. These flock cameras seem to have done wonders in so many high-profile cases. As police are looking desperately for these suspects, these cameras pick them up right away based on their license plate. And that is something that is going to be tough to argue with. I think you're right, Tom, but certainly this debate will continue.
Yeah, it sure will. Great reporting from that news conference this afternoon of those both for and against. Angelique Proctor live for us in downtown Atlanta. Angelique, thanks so much. Speaking of flock cameras, the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office is offering a $1,000 reward after somebody destroyed a flock safety camera near Yahula Creek Park. Sheriff Stacy Gerard says that the license plate reader was used to keep kids safe by alerting authorities when registered sex offenders entered the park. The vandalism comes amid growing debate and privacy concerns, of which we just discussed, over the expanding of the flock network. The sheriff's Facebook post about the incident has drawn more than 17,000 comments, with many expressing concern over potential surveillance of law-abiding citizens and recent misuse of Georgia officers. Still, Sheriff Gerard says that the damaged cameras will be replaced with a new model capable of recording video to catch future vandals. Anybody with information is asked to contact the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office. Let's talk about some other stories making headlines this afternoon. Authorities are on the scene of a breaking situation in Cobb County here, where a person's been barricaded inside a Mableton home. SWAT officers and uniformed patrol containing the scene in a neighborhood along Wandering Vine Drive near Wandering Vine Lane. Cobb County Police confirmed the incident is contained and say that there's no known threat to the surrounding community. At this hour, police have not released the identity of the individual inside or what prompted the initial response. It's also unclear if anybody else in the home is with them. Drivers are being asked to avoid the area around Wandering Vine Drive and use alternate routes while officers work to resolve what's happening inside that home. Well, we have some news about Gwinnett County Police investigating a deadly shooting after a homeowner turned to find a visitor shot to death inside their Tucker townhome. Officers responded to the Woodland Grove apartments on Lawrenceville Highway around 4:30 Monday afternoon. Police say the victim was visiting the townhome with the owner's knowledge, but when the homeowner came back, he found the man dead on the floor. Detectives are reviewing surveillance video and talking to witnesses. Investigators believe that this was an isolated incident, but no suspect is in custody and no motive is known. Anybody with information is asked to call Gwinnett County Police or Atlanta Crime Stoppers with information. Let's listen to some sound, I believe, of what happened in that instance.
Detectives are still investigating at this time. They're reviewing video footage and talking to witnesses. This is believed to be an isolated incident, but the motive is still unknown. At this time, there's no official suspect, but again, given the details that they know at this time, it is believed to be isolated.
Talking about how this is an isolated incident. However, they're still looking for information as to what might have happened here and what circumstances were surrounding this incident. Now to a breaking situation where we're learning that Governor Brian Kemp is taking action and suspending 7 members of the Dublin City School Board of Education as that school district faces a growing accreditation crisis and a multi-million financial deficit. These are live pictures out of Dublin City schools. The governor's executive order follows a unanimous recommendation from the State Board of Education after a recent hearing into the system's finances and accreditation status. The district was placed on notice that it risks losing accreditation entirely following reports of a $20 million shortfall that has already led to dozens of job cuts and the removal of top leadership. Governor Kemp has now created a 4-member nominating committee to find temporary replacements for the suspended school board members. The committee will be chaired by State Board of Education member Matt Donaldson as the state works to stabilize the district's accreditation status and leadership. Want to head to Carroll County now, where there's an issue over a landfill fee happening. Our Kevin Stewart is out live on top of this story for us. Tell us about this fee and what it means for residents who simply want to deposit, as the man behind your left shoulder there is doing right now, and this fee that may be involved, Kevin.
Yeah, come January, you won't be able to come out here to dump unless you pay $50. There is a new placard, a pass, if you will, that people will be having to go down to the Carroll County Administrative Office and purchase. $50, a one-time fee that you'll have to do annually to put your trash in here. Now, the thing about it is some people might think, okay, well, so what? Everybody has to do that. But Carroll County, in all these years, people have been able to do that for free. And when you have to pay for something that you've never had to pay for before, that tends to make some people upset, and that absolutely is the case. But the county retorts, hey, it's expensive to do this. It costs roughly $10 million a year to handle trash, and so that this is a way of, instead of raising property taxes, they have a user fee, $50 for an annual pass, and for senior citizens, $25. I want you to take a listen to some people who we caught out here earlier today.
I think it sucks. What's my tax got to pay for as it is? We pay thousands and thousands of dollars of taxes every year. Man, I go charge us to dump?
I don't mind paying. If I had my trash picked up every month, what if they charge you? Really? And there is a cheaper rate for us older people, which is okay.
Carroll County was the only county in West Georgia that you could still dispose of your garbage for free. Every county that touches Carroll County charges a fee. The Board of Commissioners are setting a user fee for the people that use the convenience centers. Not all residents use the convenience centers. Several residents in the cities have city garbage, and there are also private garbage haulers in Carroll County. So this will be a user fee.
All right, now you may recall several stories that we've done recently too, where someone has been arrested for illegally dumping tires and other debris in the county. Some people have chimed in and saying, well, that's got to be because now people have to pay coming up in January to use this, so you're going to see more illegal dumping. But the county talked to the sheriff's office and said no, they don't think that's going to be a problem. This is a reasonable fee, and that people who illegally dump are always going to illegally dump, and it's their job to try to catch those folks. Tom?
So Kevin, are we then to assume that the people that you spoke with who have a valid concern, they're like, well, we're already paying taxes, we're not getting regular trash pickup, and now we're being charged again to dispose of our trash in this landfill. So what is the trash collection protocol out there? In other words, do they have a regular trash collection that's included in these property owners' taxes?
Well, let's back up on that because maybe there's an assumption here. This is for people in unincorporated Carroll County. So say if you live in Villa Rica, if you live in Bremen, if you live in Carrollton, you do have garbage service and you pay for that. But people who live in the unincorporated part of the county, or if you live in, say, one of those cities that has garbage service, but you want to bring furniture or something hazardous or something along those lines to one of these convenience centers, you're going to have to pay. It's worth noting that when I talked about that approximately $10 million it costs a year, the county says taxpayers already foot that bill, about half of it already with property taxes. And so they're saying this is a user fee. You heard that soundbite a moment ago from the director there. He says that this is a user fee. So to use this is going to offset that. That increase that they were actually looking at. They were talking about possibly about a $3 million increase off of that $10 million because of the vendor, GFL, raising their rates. So they're saying that this is something that is kind of like meeting the folks halfway, so to speak.
And it does, I mean, to their point, it does cost money to process and collect this trash and then move it out. But will there be any, for those who object, will there be any recourse in the form of maybe a council meeting or somewhere where they can go and voice their opposition?
Well, this is a done deal. I'll tell you, this is something that I've actually been looking at for a couple of months now, and the county was ready to talk about this. But really, this is a done deal. They've been working on this. They just worked out the details on how people are going to get these placards. They weren't sure if it was going to be a sticker or a placard you can hang on your car. That's what it's going to be. And they had already set the price. And now what people are going to have to do, there's a new administration building over in, I believe it's College Street, where the old College Street Elementary School used to be, not too far from the courthouse. And that's where people will have to go to, that new admin building starting in October, to pay $50 to get this pass to come in here and dump like these folks.
All right, done deal, indeed. Kevin Stewart out with folks who are concerned about what's happening out there, but it looks like they're running quite an efficient operation at that landfill with this tax that is being paid. Kevin, thanks so much. Also, here during the 3 p.m. stream, a wanted man behind bars after Atlanta police found him at a Midtown hotel with a loaded gun and a designer bag stuffed with drugs. Officers arrested 34-year-old Jacob Taylor at the Hilton Garden Inn on 10th Street early August 9th after an anonymous tip revealed that he had an outstanding warrant in Fulton County. Police say Taylor refused to vacate his room, gave officers a forced driver's license, and provided a false name. Well, a search of the room uncovered a loaded revolver along with suspected meth, cocaine, crack, Xanax, Adderall, and purple heroin inside a designer bag. Taylor now facing a long list of charges, including forgery, firearm possession by a convicted felon, and possession with the intent to distribute controlled substances. A Canton man is behind bars this afternoon in Cherokee County after police say that he shot his wife inside their home early Saturday morning. Officers responding to Park Village Drive found a woman with a gunshot wound to her torso after 2 young adults escaped the home to get help. Investigators say that multiple shots were fired, with one bullet going through a wall and striking a neighbor's house. 42-year-old Arotabios Reed was arrested a few hours later in Forsyth County, where police recovered a handgun inside his vehicle. Reed faces 7 charges, including aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The victim's current condition has not been revealed. Well, voters are headed to the polls in a handful of states, including one to our south, Florida. Primary voters headed to the polls in Florida, Wyoming, Alaska, and in California. Key contests today on the ballot include high-profile congressional primaries across South Florida and an unusual Alaska Senate contest as well. Voters are advised to verify locations and operating hours with their local officials as they head to the polls today in these elections. The battle over childhood vaccines continues and is heating up again as students head back to class for the new school year. New CDC data is showing vaccine exemptions among kindergartens hit a record high of 4.2% last year. The majority were non-medical exemptions, with some doctors criticizing the Trump administration and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. following a recent executive order changing the childhood vaccine schedule. Physicians point to a resurgence in disease like measles, with MMR vaccination rates dropping to 92%, below the threshold needed for herd immunity.
This is RFK Jr.'s goal, which is to induce chaos and confusion into the system, so people aren't sure what they're supposed to do.
We don't really have herd immunity for anything anymore, and so you got to build the immunity in your own little personal herd. That's your family.
However, HHS is pushing back, claiming ultra-processed foods and childhood obesity are presenting a much bigger health crisis. State rates vary widely, with Idaho reporting the highest exemption rate at nearly 1 in 5 kindergartners. Let's head to the situation in the Middle East, and it continues to be precarious, with Iran's parliamentary speaker now doubling down on its control of traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. The president putting out on Truth Social once again that the strait should be U.S. territory, but the parliamentary speaker reiterating the country's stance on maintaining the passageway until the U.S. meets its conditions. He says the strait will remain closed until the U.S., quote, lifts the blockade, releasing frozen assets, lifting oil sanctions, ending threats and military operations on all fronts, and implementing the other conditions to which it has committed. Meanwhile, the U.S. blocking Iranian shipments through the strait. Peace talks between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled, with no resolution in sight. The price per barrel of oil continues to skyrocket. It's been up in the past few days, meaning that the situation in Iran continues to hit you and me in the pocket every time we go fill up our cars at the gas pump, unless, of course, you drive an electric or hybrid vehicle, in which case you're seeing some relief. Well, speaking of the cost of energy, boy, the air conditioners have been running really for about the past 5 days or so, as we have been in the midst of a major heat wave. We felt just a little relief this morning. We're going to find out if this heat is going to last coming up here. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour, everybody. So happy to have you with us. We're joined by Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Marquise Mita, who's been watching this weather for us. Marquise, you know, I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, a break in the temperature. Feels kind of good out here. And I wondered if it would last throughout the day, but not so much. The heat is back in full force.
And we'll be back on the rise as we continue across the work week into Thursday as well. That's when we can see temperatures returning to the upper 90s. We'll call this fool's fall, or at least the morning felt like it, courtesy of this cold front here on the right-hand side of your screen. That was also responsible for the showers and the storms that might have woken you up overnight. We heard that rumble of thunder inside of the metro. Now we are cooler than we were yesterday, and of course much drier too, as high pressure is a dictating force in our forecast. So what that's going to do is funnel in the air from the north and the west, slightly cooler temperatures. In fact, yesterday we peaked at 98. So far today, as you step outside, the highest that we've seen is 91 inside of Atlanta. So of course the heat risk is much more pronounced as you head further south, right between Valdosta, also Savannah. That's where we have those shades of magenta on the map. And those emphasize the extreme heat with temperatures in the upper 90s out in that direction. Now, as you head further north throughout the state, you see that gradient of colors transitioning from the magentas to the darker reds all the way into the dull yellows. And dull yellow, not a bad color to show for northern Georgia, as it does indicate cooler conditions so far today. So as we take you outside, not too many clouds in the forecast right now. In fact, partly cloudy, if not mostly clear conditions are what we're sporting. Taking a look at Atlanta with temperatures showing 91 on the dot. So yesterday's forecast was a little bit of up and down. We saw high temperatures peak in the upper 90s, the warmest air of the year so far, tying the highest temperature we've seen in Atlanta, but we couldn't match that on Thursday. So 91 to me does feel a little bit more comfortable, but hey, I'm indoors right now, not outside. As we take a look at surrounding cities in our live Viper radar, temperatures show a mix of upper 80s and low 90s across the board. So a tight-knit grouping of temperatures are what we can show. The exception or the caveat to that statement, that's in Blairsville. 83 degrees out in that direction. So maybe that's the place to be if you want to beat to the heat. But here's the difference that 24 hours can make a picture, they say, is worth 1,000 words. And I'm liking this one right here. A 7-degree difference between your temperatures over the last 24 hours in Atlanta. You match that difference in Covington. Looks like it's a 9-degree difference in Rome, also Canton. So all across the board, we are trending cooler for the moment. The rise in temperatures that returns tomorrow, so enjoy the cooler weather while it's still here. Mostly clear skies throughout the majority of your afternoon and into the early evening as we stay dry. And as we take you through your hour-by-hour forecast, not significant changes coming your way overnight. Notice that the better chance for rains across the state border into Alabama. And then as we head into Whiteley and low pressure, that's what's going to enter the picture across the Carolinas into Kentucky, also Tennessee. You see Knoxville. You guys will have those showers, well, knocking on your front doorstep pretty early on Thursday in the morning at 5 a.m., sliding across the southeast. That was another cold frontal boundary. It's not going to get to us until later on Thursday night. Now, that could still mean the chance for a shower or two before Thursday is said and done, but what it means for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be cooler temperatures. As for tonight, comfortable conditions still remain in the picture. Temperatures fluctuate between the 60s and the lower 70s. Blairsville, of course, the coolest place to be once again, 64-degree temperatures overnight. And here in Atlanta, you'll be hovering around your seasonal average in the low 70s. As for your Wednesday in the metro, you'll get back into the mid-90s tomorrow. Still mostly dry conditions on Wednesday. Better chance for showers arrives on Thursday. So a high of 95 is what's expected tomorrow, coming to 96. Athens, Eatonton, 97-degree temperatures will be coming your way. Rome looks like you're in the mid-90s as well. And then as we continue across the rest of your 7-day forecast, we will see those temperatures spike in the upper 90s on Thursday. Chance for some showers Thursday night into Friday morning, Tom. But after that, temperatures start to cool as we're back in the low and the mid-90s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Can't believe we're saying cool. But I guess compared to 98 degrees, that is a cool down. But I keep looking at your 7-day, wondering when we're going to see a high like in the 80s. That would be nice.
Stretch it out to a 14-day forecast.
Okay. Because I think we're all like collectively waiting for the heat to break.
Waiting for that heat bubble to burst, right?
Yeah. We're done. I think we're done with the 90s, Marquise.
I've been done with it. I'm ready for it to cool down.
We're ready for fall, right?
Yeah.
All right. Marquise, thanks so much. Speaking of weather, I want to take you out to Hawaii right now. Talk about Hurricane Lala, which has moved away from Hawaii, but boy, Did it leave some damage behind? Thousands of people still without electricity. Some communities have been cut off due to damaged roadways and bridges out there. Take a look at what was left behind after Lala. Some homes and roofs ripped off out there days after Lala pummeled Hawaii as a Category 1 hurricane. Cleanup efforts just getting underway out there. Tuesday morning, more than 73,000 people remained without power, down from some 200,000 people at the height of the storm. Lala avoided making direct landfall, but wind gusts as strong as 80 miles an hour knocked trees down and tore roofs from buildings out there. The National Weather Service says rainfall fell at a rate of 3 to 5 inches per hour at times, flooding roads and cutting off access to major highways. Hawaii really not that accustomed to getting a hurricane. This was pretty surprising for folks out there. Florida, we're good at hurricanes down there. All right, having been born and raised in Florida and worked down there for a good chunk of my career, we know how to prepare. We know how to batten down the hatches. We have hurricane clips in our roofs so that they don't fly off. And Georgia Power, Florida Power and Light are very good, in addition to Georgia Power, at responding real quick. Even us here in Georgia might be better prepared to deal with a hurricane than folks out in Hawaii. But they are certainly doing their best to clean up after Lala came through and ravaged the beautiful tropical island. Meta officials arrive in federal court in Oakland, California today for the company's child privacy and social media addiction trial. The court case involves 30 states that claim Meta violated laws protecting children and sought changes to how Instagram and Facebook operate. The states are seeking significant financial penalties and changes to features central to the platform users' experience. Want to talk about the trial for the man accused of orchestrating the murder of Tupac Shakur. Opening statements began in Las Vegas yesterday for that orchestration of the 1996 killing of the rapper. Prosecutors said they plan to prove former Los Angeles gang leader Dwayne Keefe D. Davis ordered the shooting, though were clear to say that he did not pull the trigger himself. The trial comes nearly 30 years after the rapper was famously killed in a drive-by shooting, and the cold case was revived after the 2019 release of Davis's tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, where he allegedly admits to orchestrating the shooting. You wouldn't think after you write a book, you get yourself in trouble. Well, it appears that's exactly what might have happened in this case. The question is, will prosecutors be able to tie him to the murder of Tupac Shakur after what he revealed himself in his own memoir? That's going to be the challenge. Or can his defense team paint a innocent, beyond a reasonable doubt picture of this man some 30 years after the crime? It's going to be interesting to see what takes place inside the courtroom, as both the prosecution
as of right now, things are just going the way it should. So witnesses, we don't know for sure who's going to be called when, just because of the nature of the case. The people that are willing to come forward and testify or not. So every day is sort of will be a surprise. The length of time is going to be a huge problem for anybody. To try to recall things, to try to remember things, it's just not how it works. That's why police reports are important. That's why, detectives writing good reports are critical for this kind of case. Ronald Reagan back in the day said, right next to Gorbachev, I think, he said, we trust, but we verify. So the idea behind it is, yes, you can sort of believe people, but you also want to make sure that you verify the information.
How's KPD today?
He was hopeful. He's in a good place right now. Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
jitters are out.
Keefe D saying now that he didn't even write the memoir and claims that the book was a ploy to make money. Following opening statements, Davis's defense attorney says that he's feeling hopeful, adding that his client lied in the memoir. So a lot of he said recounts of what happened 3 decades ago with Tupac Shakur. Still a lot more ahead as we continue here in the 3 p.m. streaming hour. It is hot outside. My Sister's Mission, an organization that we've talked about here before, now providing some heat relief for folks without a cool place to go. Our Maria Guzman on top of that story for us when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom, walking you through a busy afternoon of news. Appreciate you streaming with us. If you're on your mobile device on our free Fox Local app, we're certainly glad you're with us today, or on one of our many social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, at Fox 5 Atlanta. Glad you're here as well. Or if you're driving around town running errands, listening to us on our radio partner, 107.9 HD2 FM, we are glad you're with us today. You know, if you are outside, you know it is hot out there. A lot of people don't have a place to cool down or protect themselves from the heat. I want to go to Restoration House by the Atlanta Mission, where Maria Guzman is standing by live with exactly the place that people can go to seek relief from the heat. Maria?
Side Restoration House, and just right behind me, those are just some of the people that are going to be receiving service right here today at Restoration House. I was talking to the leaders who help manage this area, and they tell me that on an average day they can serve about 90 people or so. They have 100 beds, but the last 2 weeks they've actually been in max capacity, so they can stay up to 30 days here, and so they've been having actually to turn some people away, unfortunately, because they've been max capacity. Today alone, they've already had to deny 6 people because all the beds here are full. Now, there are many reasons to that right big number, but one of those reasons they tell me is due to the heat index. So I got a chance to speak with the leader at the shelter about the resources they also provide for anyone who is escaping the heat. They want to be sure that they're well established too once they enter these doors. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
Being unhoused is dangerous in and of itself, and extreme weather just exacerbates that situation. During the heat right now, it's exacerbating health conditions, heat stroke, other things. For individuals who find themselves living on the streets each day, it's situations that the cement that they're laying on is up to 200 degrees at times, and it just doesn't afford for a healthy living and sustainable when they're already struggling to just maintain basic living conditions. The weather has been crazy hot over the past 5 days, and we have definitely seen an increase of numbers who line up outside of our shelter every morning seeking a little bit of refuge from this extreme heat. We are currently in one of our dorms for Restoration House. This is where our women and children who come and seek support are staying each and every night, and we're happy to provide personalized private. It definitely doesn't look like what you would expect. We hear that all the time for a shelter. Here we're doing everything from their laundry to their cleaning to their cooking to make sure that they have an opportunity to just stabilize and be supported and feel the love and the hope that we hope that they would have, so that they can make the best decisions for improving their current situation. Intake starts about 8:30 every morning, and we start seeing lines forming as early as 5:30, 6:30 each day. Our services are more than just emergency shelter. So coming in on day one, we're going to make sure that you get a bed, and make sure you get something to eat, but we're also going to make sure you're equipped with clothing. If you are coming in as a mom with a child, we're going to provide supplies for you and your child, including diapers and formula and food for your children. We're going to make sure that they have toys and equipment to entertain them, as well as making sure that we're giving you skills and services and case management to support the mom, to make sure that their time with us is important, and we've invested in them in transforming their life. Anyone can stay with our services no matter what their need is for 30 days minimum. Our goal is that within those 30 days that you are so encouraged to invest and transform the situation that you're currently finding yourself in, that you stay with us long term and take advantage of our holistic programming. Our holistic programming is roughly about 6 to 8 months, and then after those 6 to 8 months, we're gonna support you in getting a job and employment, and then you can stay with us even an additional 6 months as you work and save and invest in your budget and finances in order to make sure that you're equipped to move out into sustainable housing. We would love for you to go to our website at www.atlantamission.org, find opportunities of how you can give, how you can volunteer, and how you could just support any of these individuals that come through our doors.
And again, those 100 beds that they do have available here are already booked. These people will soon make them way to their chambers for tonight, Tom.
we're marveling, Maria, at what a tremendous resource this is for people. 30 days to be there, and then they're going to provide you help and assistance finding permanent housing for 60 to 90 days. It's incredible the services that they can provide the community. I'm wondering, and you may or may not know the answer to this question, where the resources come from. In other words, do they collect from local charities? Do people donate individually? Do companies step up, or maybe all of the above?
All of the above. That's a big question I also had, because I was just so impressed that this is a free service and just how beautiful this building is as well. And it's a little bit of everything. What's really special too is that each room around here is dedicated to a certain donor who has helped this organization. So looks like it's many hands that make this possible and allow the people to receive this service for free.
It's a great service to highlight and to let people know is out there in case they are seeking not only relief from the heat, but housing solutions or jobs, or just trying to find their way forward. And we're here looking at their website, and they have all kinds of ways that you can also step up to donate. So it's a great organization, Restoration House by the Atlanta Mission. Maria Guzman live for us this afternoon. Great feature for us, Maria. Thanks. From one great donation drive, if you will, to the next, bikes being collected by Quinn residents at Atlanta Police Athletic League so that they can then distribute them to children. Our Eli Jordan out and about with some bikes behind him that they've already obviously collected. Eli, what's going on where you are?
Hey, Tom, they're not collecting bikes. They're pulling them out of boxes and putting them together, and then they're going to be handing them off to the APD Athletic League, so the APD Athletic League can go hand them off in their youth outreach program. And it's a really cool event. They got about 8 bikes that have been put together, and they've been making they separated into teams here at Quinn Residences, and they've been having a little bit of a team building experience. But check out these bikes. I would love to have one of these as a kid. This is a perfect bike. It's awesome. You can ramp, and these things should hold up. I mean, I used to bunny hop on these. I used to ride no hands all over the place. But joining me right now, so is Ramika Robinson. Hey, Ramika, how you doing?
I'm well.
So tell me, why bikes? Why the APD? What are you guys doing out here today?
Well, excellent. Well, we are here giving back to the community in which we serve. We are excited to have several homes in the Metro Atlanta community that we lease to others, and because of that, we want to come together. We came together with our managers from across our regions to put together bikes for the communities that we serve in. We're excited to do it. It was a fun activity, and we always find opportunities to give back.
Have you guys ever done anything like this before? Build bikes?
Well, we have.
Do you have grease underneath your fingernails?
Well, just a little bit from the from all of our hard work, but we absolutely do. We find different ways to serve our communities wherever we are. We collect school supplies. We partner with different people for volunteer opportunities in the communities that we're in. So we often find ways where we serve to give back in those ways.
And about Quinn Residences, you guys build whole neighborhoods for rental houses, people that can rent, correct?
Yes, we have communities, a full community with all of our homes where we provide amenities. So not your standard rental housing community, but we provide all the bells and whistles where you can come connect with the community and stay for several years.
And you guys are based headquartered here in Atlanta, just right next door, and you serve 6,000 people across the southeast.
Yes.
$1 billion footprint in the economy here.
Yes.
And this is basically your whole team here, isn't it?
Our whole team from across the southeast. Currently in this area, we serve 2,000 people alone, and then across the southeast, you're correct, 6,000. And we are continuing to grow to serve people around us.
And you guys have a lot of enthusiasm with this bike build here today.
Oh, it's so fun. It's been a fun time, but we have enjoyed putting the bikes together, and we can't wait to give them to the Atlanta PD to give out to the community.
So here shortly, we expect the APD to come and confiscate these bikes, or pick them up, I guess.
We are excited to give them out to the kids. We are partnering with a very worthy donation opportunity here, and then we'll continue to do things like this and give them out as much as possible. We're looking forward to seeing these kids ride these bikes because they are so much fun, and we've had fun building them.
Yeah, this is really cool. Well, Rebecca Robinson with Quinn. Thank you so much. And Tom, this is really cool. I mean, these bikes are really nice. I dig them. And also, hanging out with this good Tom. I had ice cream here, so it was real tasty and good. So it was fun to, it was fun to be here and hang out and enjoy some of the refreshments they had. Ice cream and fruit and all that good stuff, Tom.
What kind of refreshments are we talking about there? Because it looks like there's a party going on behind you.
Ice cream. They had good. I know. Tell me about it. I mean, they're just a real enthusiastic crowd here, and they seem to really enjoy doing the bike build here. And I guess Quinn Residency's.
You know what's so great? It's such a good cause. They're buying these bikes, putting them together, having a great time doing it, and it's all going to these kids who are going to be equally excited to receive them. So excellent stuff out there. Eli Jordan having fun with the bike assembly process. Eli, thanks. When we come back, still got a lot more to get to during the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. So happy you're with us this afternoon. Are you a fan of bluegrass? Because the second annual Rambler Fest is coming up Labor Day weekend to celebrate bluegrass music in West Georgia. The organization renovated a historic bluegrass venue, and that's where we're going to find our Chris Rosenthal this afternoon. I understand he played a little guitar during the 2 p.m. streaming hour, so hoping to get treated with that during the 3 p.m. streaming hour.
Oh, you know, I think I'm going to let the bluegrass pros here treat us here at the Outpost Bluegrass Barn here. It may not look like much here in Waco, Georgia, but you know, bluegrass is actually a really big deal here, and this place has been kind of a hub of bluegrass in this area for decades. Fell in a little bit of disrepair, and some thoughtful people came in here and renovated it, helped fix it up, and get it up in running order. And like you said, having the Rambler Fest, and I got some. Let's listen to a little bit of bluegrass here. Some pros here playing away. We've got Bryce and Matt here. guys. Beautiful, beautiful. So Josh here, he is also a bluegrass player, and tell me, you're one of the organizers of this festival here, and you helped kind of get this place back up and running. Tell me a little bit, first of all, about the history of this Outpost Bluegrass Barn.
Bluegrass started here in the early mid-90s, and it went all the way through COVID. And for years, it was a bluegrass staple. It would live jams, but also some regional and touring artists would come through here, and it was a prominent bluegrass venue. COVID happens, it kind of stopped, and then last summer, this guy calls me and was like, "Hey, we should start our own bluegrass festival called Rambler Fest," and we did. And so this is our second year. So we're trying to bring bluegrass back to Buncombe, Georgia, and back on the map for the good folks of West and Northwest Georgia.
And a lot of us didn't realize, I didn't realize this coming out here, just how big bluegrass is. Tell me about the bluegrass scene here.
Yeah, it's a huge scene. It's North Georgia, West Georgia, Northwest Georgia, Eastern Alabama, a huge bluegrass scene. A lot of pickers, day jobs, plumbers, HVAC dudes, truck drivers, marketing nerds, and there's a massive bluegrass scene here, and they love to jam. Jamming is part of the bluegrass culture. So
you
just jam,
and I think it's kind of cool. The regular, average, everyday people you might encounter, maybe bluegrass heroes. Matt over here, he's a truck driver, and Bryce over here, he works in HVAC during the day. But as you heard, these guys are amazing players. And Bluegrass Festival. What's it like when people come out here?
It's very family friendly. So one of the things we do, a bluegrass festival already by proxy is family friendly, but we intentionally market it towards kids and families. So we want to help kids follow bluegrass. So we have a kids jam that's designated for kids only, Saturday morning, September 5th, 10 a.m., kids jam. So we really want, everybody of all ages to come, but we really want to attract kids and beginners as well. So a lot of people maybe get intimidated with bluegrassers because they're pretty good. A lot of them aren't, and so we just want to encourage beginners of all types to come out to Rambler Fest and fall in love with bluegrass.
And that's one of the cool things I think about bluegrass. We were talking about this is it's not just it's not like going to a typical festival where everybody's just watching a band on stage. Like participation's encouraged.
Yeah, so the best pickers you'll often hear at a bluegrass festival are not the ones on stage. They are the ones out picking next to their RVs until 3-4 a.m.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is if you don't know how to play, you just bring your lawn chair and your instrument and you just sit up on the outskirts where everybody's playing and just try to learn some things. That's how all of us learn how to play.
Mm-hmm. And if you do have an instrument, you can bring it. So yeah, absolutely. So real quick, how can people get tickets?
Rambler-fest.com/tickets. That's Rambler-fest.com/tickets. And find us on Facebook. We're all over Facebook, so follow us on Facebook, Rambler Fest, and just follow along. Tickets are on sale now, and hope people can make it out. If you're in anywhere in Metro Atlanta, it is like walking back in time. So it is a bluegrass little gym here. So
in this beautiful venue here. Well, guys, why don't you play us out here?
Let it rip.
Especially from those folks. They're so good at it too. What a great venue and resource for our communities to revitalize and spread the word about bluegrass, especially to the next generation. Always love that. Chris Rosenthal. Chris, thanks. And thank you for streaming with us on this what are we on? Tuesday afternoon. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.
Fox 5 News at 4 starts